Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. Here's what's coming up on the Owen Report today. Well, all eyes were on the Pam Bondi testimony today, which was a complete disaster. It was a total embarrassment for our entire country. Our entire Congress looks like a bunch of clowns, and Pam Bondi looks so unfit for the job that it's really not even funny. Now, this was a multi-hours long hearing. I've got about 10 or so clips, 10 or so highlights from the hearing today that we're going to play for you. We're going to do kind of a general wrap-up of it. And while this is all going on, Netanyahu is having meetings with the president and his cabinet, obviously trying to convince President Trump and the administration to go to war with Iran. And it seems as though they've done their job, as there are now reports that a second aircraft carrier and more military personnel are headed towards Iran. And, I think the markets are tied into all of this, too. The markets had been going down the last couple of days. They're going down today as well. So let's keep our eye on that as well. But all of this is happening. So everybody's over here watching Pam Bondi crash out, watching our clown Congress and the clown show that was today. And then you've got Netanyahu, a wanted war criminal, having meetings, private meetings with the president, once again demanding the American people spill our blood and treasure in Israel's interest. And it looks like once again he gets what he wants. And of course, there seems to be a pattern here, because as of now, Carrie Prejean Buller has been fired. She has been fired from her job on the Religious Freedom Panel. Isn't it ironic? Isn't it ironic? So total proof, obviously, total proof that the Zionists don't run everything. Total proof. So she says the Zionists run everything. They say, no, we don't. We'll show you. We'll get you fired. Proving they run everything. Meanwhile, Netanyahu is at the White House, and he's getting the U.S. military as his own war machine against Iran. Yet again, proving, of course, that the Zionists don't run everything. It's just a conspiracy theory, despite all of the evidence, all of the facts, overwhelmingly in your face, every day, 24/7, with constant reminder. It's funny how that works, isn't it? No, actually, it's not so funny. And there's a massive awakening to it now. And because of this massive awakening, there is a huge pushback. And that's why they're trying to make an example of somebody like Carrie Buller to try to intimidate and bully anyone else from standing up. But of course, it's having the reverse effect. So that just means they double and triple down and go even harder, all the while pretending like they don't control the mechanisms of power and enforcement, while we're gearing up for another war on Israel's behalf. So we're going to cover all of that today. There was a development in the Guthrie the Guthrie story. And, when we first covered this, I was going to report something and I opted not to. There really wasn't even any reasoning. I just decided I wasn't going to report on it. I'm going to report on it today because the same thing happened last night. And it's just ridiculous. And you need to know about this. And I know I've told you before about the digital influence campaigns and how they pay different people to post things. Sometimes it's, more like an ad. Sometimes it's just social media promotion. Sometimes it's an agenda item. Sometimes it's a political campaign, whatever. It's all social media, digital media influence campaigns. Well, I'll go ahead and get ahead of it right now. Folks, they're doing the same thing for this Savannah Guthrie story. The same digital influence campaigns are pushing people to post about this Guthrie story. Thought you might want to know that.
This news update was brought to you by OwenSchroyer.store, the official site for Owen Report merchandise.
All right, you're constantly hearing about the Mount Rushmore of this, the Mount Rushmore of that. Well, our friends at My Patriot Supply have introduced now what they're calling the Mount Rushmore of emergency preparedness. The Mount Rushmore of preparedness? What? Last month, half the country got hit by one of the worst storms, one of the worst winter storms in decades. You may have dealt with this yourself. Thousands of people lost power. Hell, it was just till last week until some people in Nashville and other parts of America even got their power back. Seems like this is becoming the new normal, unfortunately. And even when the power is working, it's more expensive than ever, which is why some Americans are looking into off-grid backup power systems. You've probably been hearing about this, maybe thinking about it. It's one of the smartest moves you can make because it protects you from severe weather and skyrocketing electricity prices. I recommend the Grid Doctor 3300 solar generator from our friends at My Patriot Supply. Because unlike gas generators, it's silent, safe to use indoors, and it's completely off-grid. And right now at preparewithowen.com, when you order a Grid Doctor generator, you'll get over $800 in free preparedness gifts. You heard that right. At preparewithowen.com right now, $800 in free preparedness gifts when you purchase a Grid Doctor, including but not limited to a 4-week survival food kit, water filtration, a cook stove, and more. They're calling this the Mount Rushmore of preparedness, and the free gifts won't be around long. You already saw our last special, folks, already came and went. That's how fast some of these specials are going out of stock at My Patriot Supply. So preparewithowen.com. And if you look on the screen right there, we have a barcode for you. You can take advantage of this deal by scanning the barcode on the screen or going to preparewithowen.com.
On the cutting edge of news and analysis, the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
Well, before we get into the highlights or the lowlights, you might say, from the Pam Bondi hearing today, I think we should address something here that is just a general observation that I think we can all relate to. I think we can all get behind. I am so embarrassed for our country. What a national disgrace today's hearing was. What an absolute clown show our Congress is. It's pathetic. And you might say Pam Bondi was the worst of it today, and I wouldn't disagree. Pam Bondi is so disgraced as Attorney General now, she ought to just resign. It's so pathetic. Everybody knows it. There's no denying it. The only people that are left telling you that Pam Bondi's performance was good today are just pure Trump cultists. There's no other way to put it. Just pure MAGA cult Trumpists. Or MAGA Trump cultists, rather. And I guess there's this notion somehow, and maybe Bondi has the same notion, and these Trump cultists, they have this notion that somehow they're just going to wave some magic wand or put some abracadabra spell over the American people and just say, hey, we're moving on, nothing to see here, we're done with the Epstein stuff. Yeah, that ain't going to work. That ain't going to work. And the more you do that, the more of a reverse effect it's going to have. So the whole thing is an embarrassment. The Republicans were told not to ask about Epstein, and they didn't, by the way. The only ones that did, to my recollection, to their credit, was Chip Roy, who briefly mentioned it at the end of his time, Chip Roy. And, of course, Thomas Massey, who probably made the biggest, most legitimate fuss today. But we saw how Bondi handled that. And if you really want to know how bad it is, if you want the bottom line analysis to understand how bad today's hearing was for Pam Bondi, she made the Democrats look good. She made the lowest of the low, the scummiest of the scum of the Democrat Party look good today. That's how bad of an issue this is with Pam Bondi. That's how big of a losing stance Pam Bondi has on the Epstein files right now. She made the worst of the worst Democrats, Dan Goldman, Jasmine Crockett. She made them look good. She made them look good today. Now, the sad thing is, and this is why it's so disgusting, and this is why we're all so embarrassed at this clown show we call Congress. This shouldn't be about the left and the right. This shouldn't be about Democrats and Republicans. This shouldn't be some partisan issue we're going into this with today. We should be trying to figure out what went on with Jeffrey Epstein, the blackmail networks, the pedophile networks. We should have all been teaming up to get down to the bottom of this. We should have all been applying fair and equal pressure to Pam Bondi to give answers to the American people. But no. The Republicans did exactly what they were told to do by, I don't know if it was Trump or Mike Johnson or both. They didn't ask about the files. So Chip Roy got one question at the end of his session. And it was kind of a partisanship presentation about, the Democrats didn't do it, but we are doing it, and we should get credit. Whatever. Massey raised legitimate questions. The Democrats were in unison. They came prepared to put the screws to Bondi on the Epstein files, and it was clear, and she blew it. She scoffed at the idea that there were minors involved. She scoffed. She laughed. She started talking about the stock market. And what's even worse, when we go to these clips, I'll show you. Folks, this was her prepared notes. So Pam Bondi spent a lot of time preparing for this hearing today. And I'm going to tell you exactly what she did. She didn't prepare to answer questions on the Epstein files. In fact, the opposite. She prepared answers to completely deflect from the Epstein files, and it looks like she actually put Kash Patel in a situation now to be looked at for perjury. Now, Patel is obviously going to have plausible deniability, and I went back and looked at the statement he made about co-conspirators. So he'll be able to say, well, we didn't have this information that the DOJ had. So there's going to be, nothing is really going to happen to Kash Patel. But she embarrassed him. She definitely embarrassed him with the claims that she made when Kash Patel made the opposite claims in his hearing. So here's what Pam Bondi did today. Pam Bondi did opposition research on every single Democrat that was going to ask questions today. And she went and found each district that each Democrat representing that was on this committee was from. And she went and found an arrest record of an illegal alien from each district represented by the Democrats today. And instead of answering questions that they had about the Epstein files, instead she pulled up arrest records and mugshots of illegal aliens that were arrested in these Democrat districts. That was her response today. She came prepared she did opposition research on Democrat districts to intentionally deflect and avoid answering the questions about Epstein. She could have prepared to answer the questions. She could have prepared anything else. And instead, she spent all of her time with gotcha moments. Look at this criminal we arrested in your district. And that was what she did. She had to go to notes. She had prepared binders of notes for this. And perhaps the most egregious of which was when she went to her notes on the stock market, and instead of answering a question about Epstein, she told you how great the stock market was. I've never seen a more pathetic display in my life. And I'm running into this problem. And this is why it was so easy to own the libs all those years. This is why it was so easy to own the libs. This is why it was so easy to go out to these Trump protests and school the libs, own the libs. I basically created that internet genre of content. I mean, ego inflating aside here, if you know, you know. I mean, I basically mastered that content. I was basically the king of owning the libs. Billions of views on YouTube. Okay. You know why I was able to do that? Because those were ignorant people. And I knew they were ignorant people. They were brainwashed people. And I knew they were brainwashed people. So it was very easy for me to go into these crowds and school them and own them. Because I knew exactly the brainwashing that they had endured and were indoctrinated into, and I knew the exact things that they were ignorant on. And so it was very easy to go out there, masses of these leftists, and own the libs and create that entire genre of content on the internet with billions of views. Well, folks, I hate to say it, but it's true. That's now the right. That is now the right-wing Trump cultists that are the exact same level of indoctrination as the left. Now, to be fair, these two things are not parallel. And this is why I think it's so heartbreaking. Because, the right wing, the MAGA base, they were supposed to be better than the left. We were supposed to be leveling up. These are people that have common sense, common decency. But unfortunately, they're just as brainwashed and just as indoctrinated as the left now. And I see it everywhere. Here's an example. And this is what Pam Bondi was doing today. Here's an example of their failed logic. Oh, well, nobody was doing this during the Clinton years, and nobody was doing this during the Obama years, and nobody was doing this during the Biden years. Right? Okay. So they're bad for covering it up. So that means that what? You're not bad for covering it up? It's like, do you even hear what you're saying? Do you even comprehend what it is you're regurgitating here? We all agree that the past administrations covering up the Epstein stuff was bad. That's why we're mad that it's happening again. That's why we're applying all the pressure. This time is supposed to be different. So you're admitting, okay, the past administration's bad, but because they're bad, this administration can do it too, and don't you dare ask any questions. And here's another one, by the way. These are just two examples, but it's all day long now with the right. It's all day long with these uninformed people now. They don't even bother, and that's what it is. It's like that's what this new Trump phenomenon has done is they don't think anymore. They don't think anymore. It's whatever Trump says, I believe it. So they don't think. They don't do any research. They don't bother looking into anything for themselves. It's total cult mindset. It's total cuck mindset. It's total slave mindset. It's total fanboy mindset. So that's why you can't relate to it. That's why I can't relate to it. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see all these people now. Gee, Owen, I can't listen to your show anymore because you don't support Trump. Hey, whatever, bro. Okay? I tell the truth. So if you don't like the truth, that's on you, not me. So enjoy. Go find slop somewhere else. Go find propaganda somewhere else. I don't treat you like a child. I don't do propaganda. So you can go somewhere else. That's fine. I get it. But I see these attacks on Carrie Bowler today. Oh, look, she did porn. She did the sex tapes. She was a victim. She was a victim. She sued the people that did that. And it wasn't even her. It was a fake video that they published on the internet because she was a beauty queen, because she was a pageant queen. So they took her likeness and put it into a video and published it on the internet. She sued. And these freaks are attacking Carrie Bowler today. And they're saying, I don't listen to somebody that shoots porn. I don't listen to somebody that does sex tapes. We need to make sure people like you are vetted. Oh, but you know what's funny? You would gladly take somebody on the stage at a TPUSA event or a CPAC event that was an adult entertainer. Oh, that's right. You already did. That's right. You guys already did put an adult entertainer on the stage. You guys already did platform adult entertainers on the stage at conservative events. But see, as long as they don't say anything bad about Israel, that's okay. So don't sit here and tell me that this is about Carrie Bowler having some video that wasn't even her video that she sued over because she was a victim. Don't tell me you care about that. You don't have some moral compass here, because you guys all cheered on when CPAC and TPUSA were putting adult film stars on their platforms. You guys said nothing. So don't bring that here. But see, that's what I'm saying. This is the ignorance level of MAGA now, just like the left. They don't think for themselves. They don't research anything. They're totally ignorant on these things. It's laziness. It's sloppiness. And I'm sitting here watching it all day long with these sick freaks attacking Carrie Bowler today, saying, oh, look, she did a video. Look, she did a video. Look, she did a video. Not a single one of you know a damn thing about what happened. And it's obvious. And you're not even trying. And here you are attacking a victim. Nice look. Nice look to attack a victim as you're engaging in a cover-up of the Epstein files. Nice look, guys. Nice look. And you're stunned. And you're stunned why people are leaving MAGA. And you're stunned why people are so turned off by you. And you're stunned when you tune into this show and you don't recognize, oh my gosh, because I'm not an ignoramus. And you know, it's like the burden of knowledge. And I can't be mad at people. Okay, I get it. Look, I do this for a living. I'm obsessed. I have an addiction. It's like a problem, how much news I consume. So, okay, I can't hold it against people that don't know everything. That's fine. That's fine. This is what I do. This is my lifestyle. I get it. It's not for everybody. Okay. But there's a big difference. There's a big difference between quiet ignorance, quiet ignorance, and loud ignorance. And I don't tolerate loud ignorance. Hey, if you're ignorant and uninformed on something, hey, that's fine. It's fine. It's not your job. You don't have the time, whatever. There's nothing wrong with quiet ignorance. You don't know something. Plenty of stuff I don't know. I don't talk about it. But I talk about stuff I do know. And this is what I see on the right wing. They're all talking about stuff they have no idea about. It's the same thing with the Epstein files. So, there's nothing in the Epstein files. There's nothing there. It's proven. So you clearly didn't read the Epstein files, which, by the way, we have more of today. We'll go back into some raw files again today. So it's just, I can't believe it. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted by our Congress. What a clown show that was today. What an absolute clown show. And Pam Bondi is just beyond an embarrassment at this point. It's pathetic. And this is the big moment, quite frankly. I mean, it's like we're all kind of in this vacuum moment right now. But like today was this big moment. Here comes Carrie Bowler, and she says, hey, has anybody else noticed how the Zionists get to control everything in D.C.? No, we don't, but we're going to get you fired. And then she's fired. It's like, okay, there's your proof. Thank you. That's kind of like the story of Jesus Christ. hey, I'm going to threaten these people's power because I'm going to tell them the truth about life and God, and they're going to kill me for it. And then what did they do? They killed him for it. It's like, yeah, it's kind of predictable stuff, isn't it? And then here's the big moment. Here's the big moment with the Epstein files. And it's just like, oh, well, Trump says to move on, so we're going to move on. And now there's nothing to see here. And meanwhile, while all this is happening in the hearing and Pam Bondi is embarrassing herself and Congress is embarrassing the country, President Trump is meeting with Netanyahu over here. We'll get to that in a second. It's like this is the big moment. It's like everything happening at once. It's like, here you go. Here you go. Couldn't be more obvious. It's never been more obvious. And I I'm not an accelerationist, but what would the word be? Like I'm not an accelerationist, but I am like a successionist, not secessionist. Might be one of those two, but might be a Texas secessionist. No, I'm a successionist. So I'm just watching all of this happen, and I'm like, okay, I like to expose unwarranted influence on our country, and the number one perpetrator of that is Israel and the foreign lobbyists. And so here's Carrie Prejean Bowler that just exposed all of it. So it's like, yes, now they're coming for her and threatening her, and they took her job. And I'm just kind of sitting here like, well, that's really sad, but yeah, I'm glad it happened. I'm glad it happened because it just totally proves it. Oh, Israel doesn't have any influence. Here comes Netanyahu for a sixth visit, and we're going to get ready to strike Iran. It's like, I don't want to get into war with Iran. I'm sick of sacrificing blood and treasure in the Middle East. But I mean, hey, here we go again. More proof. How much more proof do you need? Who's really running the show here? But yeah, it's frustrating to watch the right wing, which was supposed to be better than this. That was the whole thing. Like, oh, we're better than the left. We don't fall for fake news. We don't fall for propaganda. We have common sense. We think for ourselves. And now here you are, and they've just gone right back into the left-right false paradigm. They've gone right back into the sheeple trough. And then they get mad at you when you won't join them. But I shouldn't even address them anymore. It's almost becoming a worthless point to even address it because they're losing so badly and their numbers are dwindling. So it's more of just a vent of frustration here, I guess. But I would say it's worth mentioning it for this reason. When you see these crash outs, folks, Bondi, that's institutional level at the government. When you see these crash outs in the political culture commentary world, the reason why they're crashing out right now is because they know they're losing. It's the old adage, the old example of a dying animal, a wounded animal, a cornered animal lashing out, gnashing its teeth, biting at you, going psychotic. That's what this is. These people are like rabid animals. They're losing. They're cornered. They have nowhere else to go. And so they're growling. They're gnashing their teeth. They're trying to bite you. That's all it is. That's all it is. So, yeah, I mean, I see it, and it's just like, damn, man. I needed you guys on my side. I needed you guys on team reality. I needed you guys on team freedom. I needed you guys on team let's beat the corrupt establishment. And now I figure out you guys have switched teams. But it's not that you ever were on the team. You were just brainwashed the entire time. And now the brainwashing is moving you in a different direction. So it's sad. It's sad on that level, and these people attack me every day. But then it's also like, okay, well, it's just another purification process here. We're weeding out the brainwashed morons from the true freedom fighters. But it also shows that your instincts to crash out like this, you know you're losing. You guys know you're losing badly. The false paradigm of the left-right is losing. The false paradigm of, oh, you have to support Israel, it's losing. It's losing badly. It's hemorrhaging support. And that's why you have this crash out happening right now. So it's sad. It's unfortunate. It's really gruesome to have to witness this crash out. And then the gnashing of teeth and the wailing of it directed at us. But it's the proof that we're winning. It's the proof that we're winning. It's the proof that the awakening is happening. And so the brainwashed people now are falling off left and right, and they're screaming at you while they're falling off. So let's look at this, though. So Netanyahu's in town today. Israel joins the Board of Peace ahead of Netanyahu-Trump meeting. Oh, isn't this amazing? So Israel is now officially on the Board of Peace. And they signed their little document today. I don't know if Israel's going to have to pay the $1 billion. Everybody else had to pay $1 billion to get on the Board of Peace. I don't know if Israel did. They might be above that, their privilege. So Israel is on the Board of Peace. Meanwhile, they come here, and what's the purpose? To get America into war. So Trump has the secret meeting with Netanyahu. The 6th time Netanyahu has been to the White House, more than any other world leader in any other administration ever. It's not even close. He was already the record holder with 5. Now he's the record holder with 6, and we're still barely a year in. Trump considers sending second carrier to the Middle East. Now, the word is that it's already on the way. The word is that the second carrier is already on its way. So, Netanyahu comes here to join the Board of Peace, and then he convinces us to go to war. I mean, folks, you are in 1984. This is 1984 Orwellian irony. Hey, Netanyahu, you just joined the Board of Peace. What's going to be your first act? I'm going to convince America to go to war. It's literally what happened. Now, there's a couple potentials here. Let me first say this as kind of a side note, and I think other people are starting to think this too. Folks, this administration is now so bad. I'm just looking at the odds. I'm just weighing the odds of everything. I'm just here doing political play-by-play. This administration is now so bad that I'm almost looking at this now and I'm saying, okay, hold on a second. Like, what are the greater odds at this point? This administration is so bad now, I almost can't even believe it. I'm like, there's no way the administration is really this bad. It's like, yeah, okay, it's politics. I even said in interviews before Trump got inaugurated, after Trump won, and before Trump got inaugurated, I even said in interviews, I said, you know what? If we get 20%, 25% of what we voted for, we'll be doing okay. That's probably a realistic expectation, maybe about 20, 25% of what we voted for. But I'm looking at this now, I'm saying I can't even believe how bad this administration has become. It's like so bad, I can't even believe it. So now I'm looking at the odds and I'm saying, okay, hold on. What are the odds? What are the odds that this administration is really that bad? Or what are the odds that QAnon is real? That's how bad this is now. I'm looking at this and I'm saying, oh yeah, the odds of Q being real, I'm looking at this, I'm saying the odds of the Trump administration being this bad, and now I'm like, wait a second. It can't be this bad. It can't be this bad. Q has to be real now. I feel like the odds of Q being real are now greater than the odds that the administration is this bad. That's just where my head is at right now. I'm just telling you, folks. Now, again, I do political play-by-play. That's what I do. I call the game. I call the plays as they're happening on the field. Obviously, we can do forecasting and everything else, but that's the Owen Report. 3 hours a day, the Owen Report, political play-by-play. So I don't know about a Q plan. I don't know about a trust the plan. You know, all the other stuff in Q. I don't do that. I don't promote that. I guess it's part of the play on the field sometimes, so maybe we bring it into things. There's been some weird stuff. There's been some ridiculous stuff. Obviously, it could be co-opted. Obviously, it's a psyop. The question is who's psyop? But, okay, put all the noise down. Put all the noise with it down. I'm just looking at the odds of it here, and I'm saying, what at this point, what are the greater odds? That the Trump administration is really this bad or that QAnon is actually real? I don't know anymore. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Now it's so crazy how bad this administration is. I'm almost to the point where now I think the odds of Q being real are better than the odds of this administration being this bad. I mean, there's just no way it could be this bad. There's just no way. And I mean, look, there's no doubt the biggest reveal right now is Israel's influence and control. And part of it is in the Epstein files, by the way. There's no doubt that there's other weirdness in the Q stuff that, kind of, let's say, came true. Now, again, most of it for me is like 99% of the Q stuff is either total nonsense or never came true or never would. But I look at this administration, I'm like, there's no way it's this bad. It can't be. And maybe that's just because we all want hope. I'm human. I'm human just like you. I've got the same flaws as every other human. I want hope. I want to cling to some hope. No, it can't be. And so maybe that's just the psychological response of it can't be that bad, so let's pretend Q might be real. But this is me just kind of airing this out here. And I imagine I'm not the only one that feels this way. I'm imagining I can't be the only one that feels this way. Because I just can't believe it. I just can't believe how bad it is. And it's not like it's Trump's fault that Congress is a joke, obviously. But Trump is out here attacking Thomas Massie, who's like the best Republican in Congress, in the House. It's like, well, what is that about? And on that note, Trump is out here, this story didn't get too much airtime. Trump endorsed Corey Mills. Now, folks, I've talked to the ladies that broke this story, and they kind of gave it to me before they did, and there's going to be more. But the allegations against Corey Mills, some of which are highlighted in this Anthony Sabatini post here. Folks, the allegations against Corey Mills, and some of the allegations of which I'd say have been proven true, the fact that Trump is endorsing Corey Mills is like, what? Are you kidding me? Honestly, I mean, look, we're no fan of Randy Fine, and we all know why. He's a foreign loyalist. But Mills comes with like unreal levels of baggage, folks. I mean, unreal levels of baggage and the potential for a lot more. So much that the bags might bust open at any time. And look, I would be surprised now, because there's still more that there's going to be women and other people that are going to come forward about Corey Mills. And after seeing this endorsement from Trump, I won't be surprised if they start to get a little louder. And by the way, these are not left-wingers. These are right-wingers that are going to be making these allegations. So Trump endorses Corey Mills. Trump endorses Maria Salazar. Maria Salazar, who writes the bill for amnesty. Maria Salazar, who wants amnesty for all the illegal aliens. How can it be this bad? How can Trump be attacking Massey, like one of the good ones, and then be endorsing Randy Fine and Lindsey Graham and Corey Mills and Maria Salazar? How can it be this bad? And then you go back to the same culprit. Well, who does Israel want? Who is AIPAC funding? That's who Trump's going with. So Israel doesn't like Massey. The foreign lobby, AIPAC, doesn't like Massey, so Trump's against Massey. So it's like, is it really that bad? Or is this save Israel for last? Is this the giant exposure of how Israel runs it? Or is it really just that bad? So that's where we're at here. But before we get to these clips, I'm really amazed. You know, the Democrats, they definitely put the screws to Bondi today, but even the Democrats, they're not really good enough. You know, they're not really smart enough. It's just amazing at how dumb these people are. And that's what's even more incredible, that the Democrats looked better than Pam Bondi today. So what makes it even worse for Bondi is that the Democrats looked better than she did today. But it's just like, how is this so hard? How is this so hard? And I have people all the time asking me to run for office. I'm like, I don't want to do it. I really don't. I have no interest in working in D.C. I have no interest in working in politics. I like life too much, quite frankly. But I see these just morons up there today. I'm like, oh my God, how can none of you know how to attack this issue? How can this entire committee be standing up there? And even Thomas Massey, and I understand why Thomas Massey took the angle that he took, because he kind of had his own issues with the DOJ that he had to tackle. But if I'm any one of these committee members, and I'm just trying to get basic questions, it's like, how are you so stupid to not get, it's like, we don't need to do this whole gotcha theatrics of it all, which the Democrats were doing today. And for the most part, they got Bondi pretty bad. But it's like, it's so simple. I mean, really, somebody just needs hired me to be a consultant or something. Here's how this should have happened today. And I don't care, Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter to me. It's like, how does somebody not have this basic IQ? I don't even think it's that smart. I don't think what I'm about to bring up here is even that smart. To me, this is like basic average IQ stuff. It's very simple. You sit down. Okay. Mr. Schroyer, the representative from Texas, your time has begun. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Attorney General Pam Bondi. Jeffrey Epstein was charged and prosecuted. He is a criminal sex trafficker. Is this correct? Yes, it is. Okay. And we have Ghislaine Maxwell in federal prison right now. She was charged and convicted. She is also a sex trafficker. Is this correct? Yes. Yes, it's correct. Okay. Okay. So then, Attorney General Bondi, who exactly were Epstein and Maxwell trafficking their victims to? Is it that hard? Like, that's it? All right. You got Epstein in jail for sex trafficking. You got Maxwell in jail for sex trafficking. Who were they trafficking their victims to? Like, is this not the most basic line of questioning? How is it that nobody thinks of this? How is it that not one person on the single committee thinks of this? The most basic, average IQ line of questioning. No gotcha. No partisan BS. Just a basic line of questioning. Was Epstein a sex trafficker? Yes. Was Maxwell a sex trafficker? Yes. Who did they traffic the victims to? And then what? Oh, well, because Bondi did say this multiple times today. So what's Bondi going to say? Oh, well, there's an ongoing investigation. Oh, there's an ongoing investigation. Oh, there's an ongoing investigation. Okay, when did this investigation start? Did this investigation start the first time Epstein was arrested? Did this investigation start the second time, the third time? Did this investigation start after he killed himself? Did this investigation start after you became attorney general? When did this investigation start? All right, she gives you the answer. And it doesn't matter what the answer is because at the very least, so you've been investigating this for a year and you still can't give me an answer on who they were trafficking the victims to, but you've been investigating for a year? So certainly you could understand why people think there's a cover-up, Attorney General Bondi. At the very least, you've been investigating this for a year and you can't answer the question. You haven't made a single arrest. At the very most, this investigation has been going on for 20 years and there's been no arrests and no charges. Or Attorney General Pam Bondi, where deals cut to Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell's clients so that they wouldn't face arrest. I mean, these are the basic questions right here, and nobody thought to ask them. Now, again, maybe the Republicans would have asked these questions, but they were told by the Trump administration not to, and they obliged, except Massey. And obviously, Massey had his own angle to go down because he's been going at it with the Department of Justice for these files. I just can't even, it's just unbelievable to me how bad this is, really. It's just unbelievable how bad it is. It's embarrassing for the country, and it was brought up a couple times. It's like, hey, you know, in Europe, princes and princesses are falling left and right, and they're actually going after people, and people are resigning. So in Europe, anybody in connection with the Epstein files is going down. Why isn't anybody here? Why hasn't Les Wexner been arrested yet? And by the way, here's another one. Here's another one on the right. This is what I was alluding to earlier. Trump is the one that brought Epstein in. Even Chip Roy brought this up. And I like Chip Roy. When you weigh all of Congress together, Chip Roy's probably in the upper echelon. I mean, that's not saying much, but yet it's true from my measurement. And even Chip Roy, he breaks rank. He brings up the Epstein issue on the side of the Republicans. You're not supposed to do that. But he brings it up, but he says, oh, you know, it was the Trump administration that brought Epstein in. It's like, does anybody bother researching this stuff at all? You know why Epstein was brought back in, not because of anything the Trump administration did. Epstein was brought back in. Well, I guess you could say it was something the Trump administration did because it was Alex Acosta with the sweetheart deal for Epstein. The only reason Epstein was brought back in is because they violated victims' rights with the first sweetheart deal that Epstein got. There wasn't some new charge. It wasn't like the Trump administration decided one day that they're going to bring Epstein back in. There wasn't some agenda. There was nothing from the administration that said, go get Epstein. It was Alex Acosta, who was a member of the administration, who violated victims' rights. And so therefore, by law, Epstein had to be brought back in. And then they bring him into the New York prison instead of Florida, and he kills himself. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, this is the problem. It's like, this is the pain of knowledge. I see this. Oh, it was Trump that brought Epstein in. You don't even know what you're talking about. You don't even know what you're talking about. That is not how it went down. And here you are, a loud, ignorant person. oh, Carrie Bowler did sex videos. No, she didn't. She was a victim, and she sued because she was a victim. Again, you don't know what you're talking about. So the loud ignorance that we used to complain about for all of these years on the left, now it's the right. I don't want to hear about the left. I'm so sick of this crap, man. I don't want to hear about the left. I don't want to hear about the liberals, the progressives, the Democrats. I don't want to hear about them. We just whooped their ass in an election. We won the White House, the House, and the Senate. Why are you still up here talking to me about the left? You're as bad as the left now. You're as brainwashed and cult-like as the left now. You're as loud and ignorant as the left now. I don't want to hear about it. And if people want to come at me and say, well, you know, you voted for him, hey, that's fine. I can't deny that. Have at it. I voted for Trump 3 times. Have at it. I can't deny that. That's true. But see, I'm not insane. I'm sitting here. I learned from the first 4 years. I learned from the first 4 years of indictments are coming. Indictments are coming. No indictments. And then they stole an election. And then they put me in prison. I learned from the first 4 years. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. And then nothing. And then they opened the border and flooded our country. See, I learned from the first 4 years. I'm not an insane person. It's like all these other people in the Trump cult, no, they learned nothing. They learned nothing. I don't want the Democrats to win the midterms. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a nightmare. But that's where this is going. And I'll tell you this. This is going to be funny. You know, they've got the SAVE Act that they voted on today. And I don't think it's going to pass. I don't think it passed. I don't know if there's been a final vote on that since I've been on air. Because they were taking recess. It doesn't look like they've had the final vote yet. And another thing Pam Bondi did today, she was like, you voted against this bill. She said, Thomas Massey voted against this bill. Yeah, because this is what these corrupt politicians do. They put one thing in the bill and they say, see, this is what we're voting for. And then there's 20 other things under it that are bad. And so Massey doesn't vote for these bills. So yeah, when you put one good thing in a bill and 20 bad things in the bill, Massey doesn't vote for it. And then Pam Bondi comes up there and does the whole corrupt politician thing and says, you didn't vote for this bill. So this is going to be funny. People are going to allege, I guarantee you this is coming. People are going to allege that Republicans are going to steal the midterms. That's what they're going to allege. Now, funny enough, there have been executive orders that the Trump administration has signed to try to shore up our elections. Now, executive orders are only as good as if the law gets followed. And so that's kind of a 50-50 shot. By the way, what happened to all of that stuff on election interference and stolen elections and Georgia and everything else? So they throw this red meat at you and then nothing happens. At least it hasn't happened yet. But it'll be funny if the Democrats, I just wonder what's going to happen in the midterms, because the Democrats are the ones that have all the rules that they rig elections with, right? The Democrats are the ones that cheat in elections. But the Republicans are going to be looking at this in the midterms. And if they don't get all of these bills passed and these blue states don't line up with the executive orders, you know the Republicans are going to be looking at this and they're going to be saying, okay, well, how do we take advantage? We don't want to lose power. We don't want to lose the House and the Senate. How do we get into these systems and do what the Democrats have done for years? So that's going to be an interesting thing in the midterms. But do not doubt me. Do not doubt me. You're going to hear about rigged elections after the midterms. I guarantee you that. From either side, from both sides, it's going to be a story after the midterms talking about rigged elections.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
I saw somebody in the chat today say I was coffee maxing today. Did I read that in the chat, guys? That I was coffee maxing? I've never heard that before, but I can't reject it. I actually like it. I'm coffee maxing. And why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I when our friends at blackoutcoffee.com/Owen have the best premium instant coffee out there and a volume discount? I look into my pantry. I got the 4 boxes. I'm already through 1 box. Yeah. I'm already through 1 box of premium instant coffee from blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. But when you got 4 boxes, when you order in volume, you don't feel bad. You got plenty. 15% off 1 box, 20% off 2 boxes, 25% off 3 boxes, 30% off 4 boxes. Volume discount, premium instant coffee. Now, trust me, a lot of people will say, oh, I don't like the instant coffee. It's not good. No, this is different. There's a reason why we call it premium instant coffee. There's a reason why I talk about it so much. Because it is great. And who doesn't want, if you're a coffee drinker, who doesn't want coffee instantly, especially if it's premium? But hey, that's all right. You don't have to take my word for it. If you're into the single serve pods, they got over 30 flavors for you. Over 30 flavors of the single serve pods. Or if you're more of a traditional coffee drinker, they've got the bags. They've got the bags of ground coffee or whole bean. I had my family in town a couple weeks ago. They were asking me what coffee it was we were drinking. They really like the pitch black espresso. That's my favorite. It'll be your favorite. But give them all a try. Blackoutcoffee.com/Owen. And right now, for this audience, 20% off your first order. You heard it right. 20% off your first order with coupon code Owen. Listen to me loud and clear. Coupon code Owen will get you 20% off your first order at blackoutcoffee.com/Owen.
Navigating between the sane and insane, it's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right, guys. I warned my next guest coming up here that I was on one today. I was stone cold in the Royal Rumble. Nobody was safe. But you know what? She's not a stranger to pissing everybody off either. So I guess really it's probably the perfect guest to have on today. And so Emily Safe joins me now. Emily, were you watching the Pam Bondi hearing today? Did you catch that madness?
Okay, I've been in meetings up until like literally right now. I'm catching up on it, but obviously I've been paying attention through all of it regardless. So.
Oh boy. You know what? For your own mental health, you might just want to not watch it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's like I see the clips, I see the reactions, I get the gist of it. I think she should be fired, though. I don't think she's been good at her job really at all since she started. I mean, it's not helping the keep women out of politics thing.
I'm actually glad you went there because I was going to bring this up. I saw. I like to make fun of the female car selfie videos. I do them too, though, so I'm kind of a hypocrite. So I've never really said it publicly, but the females in the car, the selfie female videos in the car, I don't know, for some reason, I feel like we could do without them. But I saw your selfie video. You said at least, maybe we should just consider, I don't know if you said repealing the 19th or stopping women from voting for 4 years.
I think we've given women
if it's good temporarily, I mean,
yeah. I mean, the thing is, I was like, okay, I think we need to reset a little bit. I think we need all the illegals out. We need to see who's in our country. We need to take away women's right to vote for maybe just 4 years, just so we can make sure the right people are voting. And then maybe they would appreciate it a little bit more. Because one thing about women is they really have to lose things to appreciate them.
Really? Is that a little female insight here?
Maybe not women. I think maybe just all people in general. But yeah, I mean, you look at the voter maps and everything, and they vote for the worst things that go against their best interests. And also, I'm like, if you surround yourself with good men, you would be more than confident the way they're going to vote. So you wouldn't have too much of a problem with it.
I've been getting some flack lately because I've been complaining about the bimboification is what I'm calling it. I'm sick of the bimbos in this administration. I'm sick of Kristi Noem. I'm sick of Pam Bondi. I'm sick of all these bimbos running around. I got some trouble from that. My own dearest mother was she took offense to that. She didn't like that. Does that bother you that I'm complaining about all the bimbos in the administration?
No, as long as you're complaining about everybody. Because I think that's the thing. As long as you keep it equal and you complain about everyone, then fine. But the women, I mean, look, I was watching the clips and she's handling it and she's getting emotional and she's upset and she's deflecting and she's bringing up these. And I'm like, no, we need a man to go out there, be very calm and collected and be honest, which I know is hard for them. And I'm sure she's in a position I'll never understand. I don't want to be a politician, but I'm just like, we need someone who's a little bit better at their job. I mean, I still think the Epstein files was one of the most embarrassing things Republicans have ever done. That was insane from an outside perspective.
Well, what has it been like? Because you kind of you've been rising in popularity, or your following has definitely been growing in the last year or so. I think the last time we talked on air was probably almost 2 years ago now. I don't know. Time flies. It seems like it's been a while. You've definitely got a larger profile since then, and you're no stranger to getting the hate from all sides. I've kind of witnessed it. You've never backed down. It seems though, what does that do? What does that do for somebody like you? Because the hate definitely pushes you, right? I mean, it's hard to not let the hate push you in different directions. It's like, oh, okay, the hate pushes you to this. It's kind of like Elon Musk always shares that meme where it's like, I'm in the middle, but the left has pushed me over here. I really never moved.
Yeah.
But what about for somebody in your position who, you go on all kinds of different news programs, you do your own podcast, you've got a pretty big following on social media. What is the hate that gets directed at you? How does that kind of push you around in the political spectrum?
I mean, I think the hate from the left pushed me like as far as right as you could possibly go. Because I was like, wow, these people are insane. And then it got to the point where I was like, these people aren't just fucking crazy. They want me dead. So I have nothing in common with these people. I want nothing in common with them. And I would like to make sure that as I live my life, I'm nothing like them. That would make me very proud. And then now I'm at the point where I feel like the left almost has me in a box and they don't even care about me anymore, because I feel like all my hate comes from the right, which is funny because I say things and I think people think I would be quick to take them down or be like, no, I regret that. And I'm like, I tend to double and triple down on literally everything I say. And I tend to be right most of the time because I'm coming from just a normal perspective. Like, I am independent. I say whatever I want. I'm going to make some mistakes and that's okay. But the right is like obsessed with like pushing me away. And I think they get angry because they can't put me in a box necessarily. But at the same time, I'm like, what is your guys' goal? For me to vote Democrat? You want me to go be a Democrat influencer, make a ton of money and push open borders and abortions? Like, dude, back off. We're allowed to be different. And also every time someone, goes on rants about me, they end up being like the worst person ever 6 months later. So I'm like, just do you. I'm doing me. I'm very happy. I'm going to make mistakes. I mean, this is a weird industry. I put every thought out there. Not everyone's going to hit. I'm going to be wrong about some things. And it's good to be like, you know what, I was wrong, which not a lot of people do.
I would say typical woman, putting all of your thoughts out there, like, typical woman. But then you say, hey, you know what? Some of them don't hit. Maybe sometimes I'm wrong. So that's good. All right. You're not, maybe we might let you vote. Maybe we'll let you vote when we take away the right here in 4 years. Maybe we'll let you vote.
I'm not claiming to be a specialist. I'm just giving opinions. They're going to change with when you're not clinically insane, with new information, you're supposed to change your opinions on things. But of course, I'm like, I just don't understand because so much of the hate comes from the right. I'm like, bro, what's the end goal? You want me to be a Democrat? Like, I would have had an easier life. I would have made more money, but I would like to sleep at night and know that I'm not a horrible person. So I'm not going to do that.
Well, I don't think you're alone in that. I talk to a lot of people in my social circles, especially people that are my age. I don't know if we're about the same age or so.
I'm 32.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm 36. We probably have similar social circles, similar social upbringings. I talk to the people in my social circles and it's virtually the same thing. It's like, hey, landing on the right wing was kind of the common sense deal. It was like, yeah, the left is so toxic and bad. Maybe I agree with right wing politics. Maybe I don't, but it's like, yeah, this is clearly where I need to be. It does seem like there's kind of this similar mindset, this similar sentiment in my social circles. It's like, hey, I don't want to vote Democrat. I don't want Democrats to be in power. I'm definitely not a liberal. I'm definitely not a leftist. I'm definitely not a socialist. But it's like, man, there is this kind of visceral, human, instinctual reaction where it's like, hey, I'm getting all this hate. I'm getting attacked from the right now. It's kind of like, hey, you know what? F you, buddy.
Yeah.
F you.
That's how I feel. I go, okay, you guys want to call me every name. You want to tell me I'm a feminist and I'm all these things, which is ironic. I'm like, dude, I live a more conservative lifestyle in Los Angeles, of all places, than a lot of these people on the right do. And I'm like, people have very dirty hands and they tend to point them all the time. But I'm like, what's your guys' goal? You want to lose voters? Like, no offense. I have like one of the bigger platforms for females on the right. And like I said, I'm not saying I'm a specialist or I know everything. I'm allowed to change my opinion. Also, maybe when people change their opinions to hopefully the right one and the more moral one, instead of shaming them and bringing up their past, maybe we could congratulate them for coming to the light like I've done with a lot of things like abortion. Like I've never had one and I'm against it now. I think it's killing a baby. I think it's murder and I think it's really bad and we should avoid that. Maybe be like, hey, congrats, Emily. You woke up a little bit. I've been clear pilled, as I've been saying, and everyone's been loving it.
Yeah, I'd never heard that one before. We've heard about all these different types of pills, and now you've got the clear pilled one.
Well, I have a question, because what do you think about this? So the whole thing is like the clear pill and all that. And I tell people, everyone's like, oh, good, Emily, you finally woke up. You get it. It's, a bird, two wings, whatever we want to say. And I'm like, yeah, but you guys, at the end of the day, like, come on, the right is superior to the left is insane. This whole thing of like, oh, it's all fake. I get it. But I'm like, you guys, at the end of the day, like, we need people to vote as far right as possible and as many people as possible. And to be like, they're the exact same thing. Like, they're not the same thing. They're not. The right is much better.
So I've got kind of three different things on that. One, I would just say, and maybe we can revisit this because it's probably a longer conversation. This is what we went through in 2015 and 2016 when Trump first came down the elevator. And back then he truly was the anti-establishment candidate. I think, the debate is maybe up in the air now. But Trump was definitely the anti-establishment then, specifically against the establishment right. And so when I came out, I was one of the first people in the media at the time to come out and support Trump in 2015. And then obviously everything I did in 2016 was kind of my rise, if you will, in politics. But we already dealt with that. We dealt with the hate from the right. We already dealt with the name calling and the smearing and the gatekeeping and everything else. So it's like, I've already been through this once. So this is kind of old hat for me dealing with these right wingers. And this is where I can maybe pick it up with you later to see, because I don't remember where you were at in 2016. But see, that's the one thing I say now is it's the same people that were anti-Trump. It's the same people that were anti-Trump in 2015 and 2016. And by the way, these are all the same people that are pro-war all the time. These are the neocons.
Yeah.
Now they're running MAGA and they're gatekeeping everybody else out. And I'm just sitting here and I'm saying, hey, look, I don't really care. I don't need to be in your political clubs. I don't really do left-right politics. The whole establishment is corrupt. Our whole government is corrupt. I'd rather see the whole thing shut down than a Republican win again, quite frankly. But I see the same people that were anti-Trump, and now they're in here running it, and they're gatekeeping everybody else out. And it's just like, well, who are you? Who are you to decide who you get to keep in and keep out? But that's what it is now. It's this new like purity test, this new, are you right on this issue? Are you right on foreign policy? It's like, hey, all of you guys were against Trump in 2015 and 2016. We had to go through hell to beat you in the primaries to get Trump in. And now all of a sudden you guys are kicking us out. Okay, fine, whatever. I don't really care. I don't want to be a part of your club anyway. But there's this.
I don't want to be a part of it.
It's like this gatekeeping thing. It's like this new gatekeeping thing of whoever's taken over MAGA now to decide, who's in and who's out. And it's like, okay, well, good luck. Again, I'm not going to vote for a Democrat, but you're going to put him back in power with that attitude.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. The infighting has like gotten out of control. And it's so weird because out of everyone on the right, I am like the most open, transparent person. Like I've literally said I was like a liberal atheist most of my life. Now I'm like, okay, I'm spiritual, respect parts of religion. I'm not super into a lot of it. I clearly see that there's a lot of demonic stuff going on. So it doesn't make me think there's a devil, which makes me think there's certainly a God. And the world's so like beautiful and perfect most of the time. I do think there's something else there, but this whole like, the purity test of like, you like this person. I'm like, I like Tucker. I like some things. I like a little bit of everyone, but I'm like, oh my God, the right, because I've like reposted like Nick so many times, the like purity test of like when people on the right, disconnect with me, because almost everyone does now, it's very much so. It's not like because we have different opinions. It's like they're pretty much preaching to me. They're like morally superior to me. And I was like, you guys are disgusting for that. That's such a liberal thing to do. It's the most liberal thing.
Have you seen the new cancel culture is on the right now, oddly enough. Have you been following this Carrie Prejean Bowler story at all?
No, I've been trying to figure it out and I can't get a straight answer from anyone of like what's going on. And I'm like, all I saw was just, I don't know. Is she the one people are calling anti-Semitic, which means
yes, of course. Yes. Right.
Okay. What did she do or say that was anti-Semitic? Did she like say
there was a religious freedom committee that was established by the Trump administration. She was a member of this committee. They had a panel discussion. I guess that would have been on Monday now or over the weekend, a couple days ago. They had a panel discussion, and she was, I guess she was the Catholic voice. She was the Catholic representative on this board of religious liberty. And she got into it. I'm sure you're familiar with Shabbos Kestenbaum. I'm sure you've seen I'm sure you've seen
funniest name.
I'm sure you've seen him floating around. And so she kind of got into it with him over this idea, the difference between Israel and the Israel of the Bible and the current nation state, the difference between, whatever anti-Semitism they claim it to be or anti-Zionism. And so it was kind of there was like a theological debate over it. There was kind of a foreign policy debate over it. And of course, Carrie Bowler was saying, hey, I don't have to support the current nation state of Israel. That's not the biblical Israel. And just because I don't like the political practices of Zionism doesn't mean that I'm an anti-Semite. So, of course, everybody took out the long knives for her. And she did get fired today. They did fire her. So she said she basically got proven right. She said anybody who's not a Zionist is not allowed anywhere near D.C. And then, of course, she comes out. She's not Zionist. Now she gets fired. So proving her right. And then this is where it's real nasty. And I think that it would be good for you to know this. because you're certainly going to see this if you look into it. They're saying that she did a sex tape video. And this is where the right wing has just become a bunch of loud, ignorant people, just like the left wing. And they're saying, oh, well, how did this woman get in there? She did a sex tape. She did this. She was a victim of a fake video. She was a former beauty pageant, beauty queen winner. So they did, they do these fake videos of you. They do these fake adult videos. And so she was the victim of a fake adult video that got published on the internet. She sued and won. And that's the real story. And yet all of these people, like one in particular who's turned into be quite a monster, Laura Loomer, comes out, and she's the one that started this whole thing. They're like, oh, why would you put her on there? She did this video. She didn't do the video. It was a fake video. She was the victim of this.
She's a victim.
And they're attacking her because of it.
Oh my God. You know what's crazy is I was seeing people were like, why did we let this mattress actress in, which is like what they call porn stars? I'm like, oh, so now when women are victims, we're shaming them because they're not 100% aligned with our, personal agendas, which is what they are. It's not even moral beliefs anymore. It's literally personal agendas so people can keep, their income and their status and all that. But I'm like, why do you guys continue to prove people right when they speak out? Because I've been on the receiving end of that lately, because the second I started criticizing Israel on my show, all of a sudden, everyone's treating me very different. Everyone. And I said, you guys, what do you mean? All my friends are Jewish. My boyfriend's Jewish. I live in like a Jewish area. It has nothing to do with Jewish people. And all of a sudden I go, you guys, like, this is like becoming very tribal and it's becoming kind of insane. But it's like, to get that girl fired because she stated a different opinion is literally proving her point, which is why they continue to do it over and over. And I'm like, I'm literally at the point where I'm like, I don't care. I have fatigue with the rest of the country. That is not my country. Those are not my people. And I frankly don't care. I care about them eating kids a lot more than that. How about we focus some energy on that? It's so
Did you want to go for some jerky later, by the way? I've got a bunch of jerky in my freezer.
I go, you guys care more about the rise in anti-Semitism than literally eating babies and calling them cream cheese.
Oh, Emily, you missed it.
Where are we?
Bondi was she got wrecked today. It was bad.
She looked like an idiot. I watched the clips. She looked like an idiot.
Well,
why was she talking about Wall Street?
Did you see the anti-Semitism clip?
Which one?
So some Democrat, and I guess this is a Jewish lady, some Democrat was hammering her on the Epstein files, and she accused her of being an anti-Semite. And it turns out that Democrat had her grandma or something was killed in the Holocaust. So Bondi comes out and says, oh, you're an anti-Semite. She says, how dare you? My grandma was killed in the Holocaust. It's just like, oh my gosh, this thing is such a nightmare. But here's what it is.
I'm so confused when I'm like, hey, I don't really agree with a lot of the things Netanyahu does. And I don't really agree with a lot of these things and sending money in wars. And these people have like way better quality of life than Americans do. And people are like, that's anti-Semitic. I'm like, so wait, let me get this straight. If you're Jewish and you're Israeli and you live in Israel and you hate the government, you hate Bibi Netanyahu, then what are you?
Which is like half the country, by the way.
Exactly. That was my point this whole time.
They don't. Well, you're not allowed to hear that in the Western media. They make sure that you don't see you don't see the protest against Netanyahu. You don't see the IDF testimony at the Knesset. They make sure that Americans don't see this.
Yeah.
That's part of the propaganda campaign. But here's because I just want to. I want people to understand. And as you said earlier, the political world is madness. It's madness. It's chaos. And so sometimes it's hard to decipher. So I try to find ways to make it easily consumable and understandable. And I'll say things like, this whole fight against anti-Semitism, it's just Black Lives Matter for conservatives. And people are like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Anytime you see somebody on the right accusing X individual of being an anti-Semite, just replace anti-Semite with racist, and you'll just understand it. Oh, it's just when they're losing an argument, just like the left throws racist, the right just throws anti-Semite. But here's where they run into the problem. And you're going through this now too. And this is the same thing that happened with the left, which maybe you went through it a little bit over there. The problem is, it's like, if you're going to accuse somebody of being a racist and they're not, it's like, okay, I know I'm not a racist. So it's like, you accuse me of being a racist. I know I'm not a racist. So now I know you're just a liar and you're just using this because you can't actually win a debate. So now the same thing is happening on the right. It's like, oh, you're anti-Semite. It's like, no, I know I'm not an anti-Semite. This is you losing the debate. And so all you can now do is call me a name. So it's like, what does that do? It's like, do they not understand? I guess no, or they don't care. It's like, don't you understand? When you call people an anti-Semite that are not anti-Semites, you're just embarrassing yourself. And now you've not only lost the debate, now you've just lost the entire cause.
Yeah, it's the same exact thing. That's why I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I spent like 2 weeks in Israel and I like loved it. And I'm friends with all the people there. I talked to like the tour guides. They were like the most amazing people. I've seen what people like go through and all that. But I'm like, the second I stopped the way I respond though, because I go, wait, why am I defending myself? This is like when people said I was racist. I go, no, you never, just stop defending yourself. But the clip I posted, which cut off a lot of friendships and people started acting a little weird towards me in the industry, is literally Tucker Carlson saying I'm not an anti-Semite, not because like any other reason besides it's morally wrong. And people like, I watched all these crazy Zionist accounts and like older women in Beverly Hills, and they were taking a screenshot of a comment I made because I was like joking around.
Is that one podcast?
Huh?
Is that one podcast you're talking about in about Beverly Hills?
Oh, no, I did a Jesse Lee Peterson one a really long time ago.
No, there's these bimbos that do a podcast that love dunking on conservative women. I thought that's who it might have been.
Oh, I don't know. There's a million of these now, but it was like so funny because I was like, this thing of like having to defend myself is so silly. So I just stopped, but I posted that clip and people were like, of him literally saying it's morally wrong. And all these, and the second I started posting stuff that you mentioned Israel, all these accounts went nuts on me. And what radicalized me, the same way the left calling me a racist radicalized me, was the things they were saying to me were so evil that I was like, whoa, like, I hope your accounts get deleted. Good luck getting kicked off. Like networks, good luck not making any money. They said, I hope your boyfriend leaves you for a superior woman. And I said, so you think my life is less because what? I'm a goy. Like, what is it?
Yeah, some goyim. Where am I going?
I mean, that's kind of crazy. But it was like that smear campaign and attack. And I watched 50 women repost me, anti-Semite, unfollow, you wish you were like blah, blah. And I was just like, this is a very bad way to go against this. Like you guys could handle this worse. And I'm just like, I'm just not tolerating it anymore. If that's what you think I am, fine. Don't hang out with me. Go spread rumors around that I'm whatever you think I am. That's fine.
I was just hoping, after everything we went through in the last 10 years, I was just hoping the level of delusion on the right wing would have like diminished.
Never been worse.
To a much higher degree. Exactly. And I'm just like, oh, wow, it's just as bad. I mean, obviously, it's politics. It's kind of the 33% factor. It's like 33% left, 33% right, 33% in the middle. But it's just like, yeah, okay, look at what happened when the left went fully delusional. And now the right is going fully delusional. And it's like, you guys, where this is going next, right?
Well, I think next is we lose an election. And then I tell people, I go, you should be very worried for not only open borders and all these things. And you should be very worried for free speech. Because, the first thing they do when they get in charge, they start calling us crazy names and, another pandemic, another vaccine mandate, free speech. I'm like, there goes all of our accounts. There goes how we all make a living. Like, that's where I'm scared because I'm like, we don't have that. We don't have anything. And let's be real. We have elections barely. How many illegals are in this country voting? How messed up are all the voting machines? Every time I go, there's a problem because they don't even send my ballot at all. They know I'm a Republican. They don't count my vote. I know that.
California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the worst states. And it must suck too. Are you in a red district or a blue district?
Blue.
Yeah.
Very blue.
Yeah, so it becomes this issue. Like, you don't even know if they count your vote. And,
no, they don't, because it gets rejected. Ever since I switched my registration to Republican, I've never had my ballot came. It's magically lost in the mail. Same with my dad. He doesn't get his anymore. I mean, he's 84. He's been voting Republican for a while. And this time I go to vote in person and the ballot like comes back like 4 times. They're like, weird. We've never had that happen before. And I go, yeah. And then in California, specifically where I live, when you were mailing it in, you could actually see what you were on the registration, which made it easier for them to, throw it away and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, there's so much fraud.
Yeah.
But like they're even babies.
You gotta be a little nicer to your dad when you're mog posting him. Okay. It's not fair.
He saw your comment. He came over for his birthday the other day and he said, I can't believe you would post bad photos of me. Everyone was commenting. My poor sweet dad watches my social medias. And I said, because you refuse to smile, Dad. That's why they were making fun of you.
No, I had his back. I knew how you did him dirty like that. I wasn't going to allow that to happen. Somebody had to stand up for him. Somebody had to.
So funny. You saw your comment exactly, which is hilarious. No, you know what? At the end of the day, look, the right is superior across the board. Okay. We have our own issues. We have our own swamp. We have it all. I just tell people, I'm like, I'm trying to break free of this. I'm trying to not let it destroy my mental and physical health because I want to enjoy my life. And, I would like to do the right thing. I'd like to move people. I'd like to spread some truth. But at the end of the day, I'm like, the only way you can really break out of this is like, you need money and you got to be as healthy as possible and just try to enjoy a little bit of life. But we should do the right thing. I think we are doing the right thing. I hope. And I'm trying to do my best. But, I make mistakes.
Well, I always encourage, you got to be healthy. You just have to. It's the one thing you might still have some control. It might be the only thing you have control over in this world is your own health.
I think it is. I think everything else is chosen for us.
Yeah. So you might as well at least take advantage of that one freedom while we still have it. Who knows how long that might last. But not to be pessimistic, I do think we're going to be. I do think the free spirits of this country, the people that are still connected to their humanity and their soul, I do think we're going to win. The only question I have is what's going to be left when we win. I'm afraid that the corrupt establishment is going to just destroy everything possible in their final death throes that I think we're kind of entering the final phase of right now. It's like it's like, can you guys just leave us a planet before you leave? Like all you genocidal freaks. All the people that fucked up this world, that you're going to leave us younger people when we finally inherit the leadership roles and we come of age. Like, can you just leave us something? Like, can you not destroy everything on your way out, please? That would be nice. And I always called Trump the boomer's last gasp. And I'm like, okay, Trump, the boomer's last gasp. It's like he can right a lot of the wrongs and maybe give us something a little better to inherit. I'm still hoping for that. But man, I just look around and it's just like, can you guys just leave us some, can we not have negative equity on our homes? Can we not collapse the dollar? Like, can we not have a nuclear war? Like, can you leave us something?
I don't want to be in war. And like, I pay my taxes and I'm like, dude, to what? To what? Like, it's so, everything is so expensive. Like, I get why normal Americans, this is why I'm like, my content, I try to focus a little bit on everything, but I'm like, dude, I get why a normal American is just losing their mind as they're working these long days. Like, dude, I'm in California paying the taxes here. It makes you sick. Like, I wanted to throw up after I paid.
Sam Darnold lost money. Did you see this? Sam Darnold, the Super Bowl winning quarterback, lost money for playing in the Super Bowl because of the taxes. He had to pay money to play in the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's really unbelievable. And I will say, it's kind of crazy. I hate to say it. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I think I'm just getting older. And as a woman, you start to become like slightly more maternal. Like, you start to be like, I even noticed like this girl was not paying attention driving the other day and literally almost hit me. And normally I'd be like calling her like every name and slur in the book. And I was just like, you got to look out, sweetie. And I was like, ooh, I'm getting soft. That's why I got to go hard the next couple years in my career, because I don't want to do this forever. As a woman, it just takes too much out of me. And I worry about my safety, and people are crazy, especially around here. But I'm like, I really hate to say it. There's something in me that's like, I'm still so sad about everything with Charlie. It kind of like breaks me. I feel like he was kind of just like one of the realest ones in the industry. And I watched so many old videos. I'm like, good point. Good point. Even if I was liberal watching this, I'd be like, yep, that's a good point. And it just, ever since him, there's just a darkness I feel overall. And I like can't put my finger on it. And it just really makes me sad. I don't know how else to describe it.
I look at it now and it seems like Charlie was almost in his own version of the Truman Show. And I also think about some of the comments that Michael Jackson used to make when he was kind of going through a bunch of the stuff. And he talked about how the only place where he felt free was when he was on the stage. It felt like every other moment of his life, he was being controlled or being scrutinized or something. And the only place where he ever felt that he could truly be free or be himself was when he was performing, when he was on the stage. And I kind of look at a lot of parallels, and it feels like, maybe Charlie was going through something similar with all the different pressures, all the different tugging and pulling, all the different aspects of his life that maybe he knew were controlled or was figuring out was controlled. And it was just like the only time he could be him, the only time he could be free was when he was on that stage, when he was talking, doing his debates, talking politics. But yeah, that whole thing is really dark. I don't know if we want to,
No, we won't even get into it. It's so dark. I'm just like, look, I have to like, people, especially with what I do, everyone wants an opinion on everything. And I'm at the point where I'm starting to step back a little and I go, you guys, I don't know anything. I know what they're allowing me to know and what they're letting me know. Okay. And I'm simply making opinions on it. I'm not a specialist in anything. You think, like, what do you think? My dad's in the CIA? You think I have more information than the FBI? Like,
Oh,
I'm
now
not
they're going to clip that out. Now they're going to clip you. They're going to clip you for that one.
I wish my dad was in those. My poor normal sweet dad working in metal and steel like a true American man. And that's the thing. That's why I think I'm starting to just shift towards like, we're doing the right thing. Information matters. People should be curious. You should want ignorance to me is not bliss. I think it catches up at a certain point. You should want to know as much about everything as you possibly can. Just don't let it break you and destroy you. Because honestly, like during the pandemic, I lost all my friends. I was listening to like InfoWars like 24/7, and I legitimately became schizophrenic. Because when you think everything's a lie, you become nuts.
I used to say that all the time. I used to say ignorance is no longer bliss. And then one of my other old catchphrases was, at first, the truth will piss you off, and then it sets you free. So at first, the truth pisses you off, but then it sets you free. All right, what's next for Emily Saves America? At Emily Saves USA on X, YouTube as well. It looks like you're in wardrobe right now. Where are you going next?
Oh, what? This is my closet.
So I'm going to call it your wardrobe. So you did this interview from your closet wardrobe. We feel very disrespected here on the Owen Report for that, by the way. We're going to take a note of that. Okay.
I'm building a studio right now. I'm like on a little temporary break for my show just because I needed to take care of myself so I don't go insane. It's been a lot going on. But yeah, I do my show, Emily Saves America. It's everywhere. YouTube, Rumble, everything. We also are on Patreon now as well, just in case you never know when you get nuked on YouTube. But I just do my show and I'm just trying to do what you do. I take information and I make it easy to digest. I try to make it fun. Sometimes it's depressing. And, I really have no motive or agenda besides trying to share it with people and have fun, not being paid by Israel or Qatar. I know everyone loves to accuse me of that. Which is so funny having to be accused of both at the same time,
Well, that's actually good that you keep them off balance. I'm going to do this because I have the people that they make the same claims about me, never about Israel. I don't think I've had that claim. I don't think I've had that claim for years now. They used to make that claim. Now it's I'm paid by Qatar. So I think what I'm going to do is next time, feel free to take this method if you would like. I think what I'm going to do is the next time, and I've already got a compilation of this. I think I'm going to challenge somebody that says, I know you're paid for by the Muslim Brotherhood. I know you're paid for by Qatar. I'm going to say, all right, here's what I want to do for you. I'm gonna invite you, and you can come and go into every financial statement I've ever had. You can go into every bank account I have, every financial everything. I'm gonna give you access to every single thing, and you can find out who I'm paid for or who I'm not paid for. But here's the caveat: if you can find where I'm taking money from anybody else or anybody you're accusing me of taking money from, I will give you every single penny in every single bank account I have. But if you don't, I get half of your money. I think that's more than fair. I think put your money where your mouth is. I'll go all in. Anybody that accuses me of taking money from anyone, okay? Anybody that accuses me, I will give you access to every single bank account I have, every single financial statement, everything you want, which, by the way, I've already had to give in multiple lawsuits. It's called discovery. And I also had the federal government in my bank accounts. It's called federal probation. So I've already been looked into. But I will put every single dollar I own on the line that you cannot find a single penny from any of these people you claim I'm paid by. And I'll put all my money on the table. All you have to do is half of your money. Let's see. Put your money where your mouth is. All these loud mouths out there. So if you want to take that method, go ahead.
But the thing is, the people who are the loudest, as we've noticed recently with a lot of things, they're always the shadiest ones. So I can be like, hey, first of all, think about how funny, because of course, Laura Loomer going nuts while I was in Qatar. And I'm like, I actually think you literally just hate me because I'm younger and prettier than you. But that's just me being a brat about it because I know how women are.
Of all the things that have been said on this show, that's probably the most obvious one.
But I'm like, she's accused me. I'm like, what's the funniest thing in the world to me when people like make these accusations? Like, imagine the Muslim Brotherhood together and they're like, we choose Emily Saves America. Like, out of anyone, why would you ever choose me?
Actually, you see here, the reason why we make the women wear the hijab and the face mask is because of women like Laura Loomer. See, so that's why.
She would thrive over there. That's all I'm saying. But I literally was just like, that's why I don't. My thing is like, I don't. When people are like, oh, what a low blow, it's because I don't care enough to respond. Babe, you can go through all my bank accounts. Like literally, fly over to my house. I am the most transparent person in this industry. Like, do I do ads to make a living? Yeah, we all do. I do a show to make a living because I want to make enough money to get away from people. That's literally the goal of this. Is because you just realize how dumb everyone is. The average person is so hopeless. That's what this industry has made me realize. And I'm a little bit thankful, I guess. But it's so funny to be like, you're accused of both. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure like all these people have meetings and they're like, let's pick her. I'm like, I have no motivation to lie. I have a really good life. I think that's why everyone just kind of hates me at this point. Everyone's very like weird and sell out. And I think they feel bad about themselves. So they love to point fingers at everyone else. And I'm like, one thing about me, I've always been very transparent about everything.
All right, there it is. Emily Saves America. Always fun. Thank you for joining us in your time off here, in your time of mental and physical health and everything else, whatever is going on as you're building your new studio. We're gonna have to send a note out to our guests. Please don't come on from your closet. We'll call that the Emily rule. That's going to be the Emily clause in our guest contracts now. So you will get a little mention there.
What can I say? Had to come on somehow.
Yeah. That's all right. We'll forgive you. We'll forgive you because you kick ass and you're always fun on the show. Always a friend of the show. Emily, great conversation. Thanks for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. There she goes. All right. Well, let's hit the reset button. Let's hit the reset button here for a second. I've got all of the Bondi clips ready to go. I wondered if we can do that in 20 minutes. So let's do this. Hit the reset button here real quickly. Short break, and we'll be right back with the Bondi clips.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
It's America's home for political play-by-play. It's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right. We're going to try to press through all of these Bondi clips. We'll try to do it as fast as we can to close out this hour. We got a ton of them, though. We got a ton of them, so it'll probably take a little bit longer. We'll probably go through the second hour with these. And then we do have some news, and we do have some other raw Epstein files, Epstein emails for you here. and then some other headlines. So let's get to it. Let's get to the Bondi madness from today. Some of the highlights, some of the lowlights. We don't have it all. But I think we've got enough of it to give you a gist in case you missed it today, to give you a pretty good idea of what it was and what it was not. Now, before we do that, let's not forget Pam Bondi said this on an undercover O'Keefe Media Group video last April. Recall when Pam Bondi said this?
Epstein files are going to get released.
We hope soon. Okay. Okay. So
Any dates?
no, you know what it is? There are tons of thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids. So they have to go through every one.
So that was Pam Bondi last April talking about how there's videos of little kids. I mean, I don't want to, we all know what it is. We all know what she's saying. It's so grotesque. I don't even want to say it. We all know what she's saying. And then there's obviously some of the further proof of that in the files. There's some further proof that, yes, child sex trafficking and the worst of it was happening there. Now, I will say it's odd. And maybe this is a kind of a little caveat as we enter this. It seemed like at that window of time when that video of Pam Bondi got published and she did a couple other press conferences and we had the whole Bindergate thing, it seemed like at that point in time that Bondi had some interest in exposing these people and bringing them down. Now, something has changed. It's obviously different now. Something has changed. And it's not good. It's not good. So how do you go and specifically, and I can't remember if this is in our compilation today, but specifically, how do you go from talking about the files and the videos of the kids and, we understand the allegations. How do you go from that to then today laughing about it when somebody brings up child victims, when somebody brings up videos of minors, and she laughed about that today and said, "Are you serious?" Or what was the exact word? She had an exact word that she used. I think she said, "This is ridiculous." When somebody asked her about the videos of kids that she said, I believe her exact response was, "This is ridiculous." So how does that happen? How do you go from that to what we saw today? Well, let's get to what we saw today. Let's just start going through these clips. We got about 15 or so. This is some of the time. And the flippant, just look at the flippant arrogance. I can't, guys, it was so disgusting. I'm sorry. Pam Bondi came off like an arrogant bitch today. And I'm being kind. Okay? I'm being kind. And I've got some statements from some of the victims after we get through these clips. I've got some statements from some of the victims. This woman's arrogance, this woman's bitchiness, this was the most disgusting display. I'm so glad we have a freeze frame here. This was her attitude, flipping her hair during it. Mad when people are trying to ask legitimate questions about what Epstein was doing, and she's twirling her hair. And I'm the one that even said her only opportunity was to do the dumb blonde thing, but she didn't do the dumb blonde thing. She did the dumb blonde arrogant bitch thing. But you can't do the dumb blonde and arrogant bitch. You can either do dumb blonde or arrogant bitch. You can't do them both. That's a recipe for everybody looking at you like you're an evil monster. And that's what she went with today. So here we go.
General Bondi, it's been reported that there were at one point 1,000 personnel assigned to the task of identifying and scrubbing Donald Trump's name from the Epstein files. Were those reports accurate?
I believe his name has appeared countless times in the documents
how
that
many
have
people were
been released.
assigned?
If I could finish, I'm going to read you the stats.
I just simply asked whether or not it was true that General.
So, folks, you understand, that's Hank Johnson, who at one point during congressional testimony was arguing that islands float, and that if a bunch of people on the island of Guam went to one side, it would tip over, okay? And he just made Pam Bondi look like an ass. And you can tell she's stalling. You can tell she's stalling. It's a simple question. Tell me, again, I'm no Democrat. I'm not voting for Democrats. Hank Johnson thinks island can float. Might be a nice guy, actually. I don't know. I don't care. This is a totally fair question. He asks it totally rationally, totally calmly. Hey, was there a team assigned? And she doesn't answer the question. Now, folks, again, obviously the reports were out there. That's what he's alluding to. She doesn't answer the question. I told you, they obviously didn't redact Trump's name. They could have, and they didn't. They could have, and they didn't. Why? Why? And then the other obvious question here, which might come up in this next clip, I forget if it was Raskin or somebody else. Why did they release the names of the victims? Folks, it makes no sense. And they can't say, well, that was a mistake, because look, these are millions and millions of files. A mistake might get made. But they can't say, because they released this email list of the victims, they can't say it was by mistake because one of the names they redacted. So somebody actually went to that email list and saw the names of the victims and chose to only redact one name. So again, look, we are looking for we use deductive reasoning to reach logical conclusions. I believe they didn't redact Trump's name because this is a public pressure, public blackmail campaign to get Trump to strike Iran. Whose side Bondi is on, you can make up your own mind. Why would they redact, and they have an email of all the victims' names and emails, why would they redact one of the victims' names and not the rest of them? Why? Because they want the victims to know this is a warning to you? This is a warning to you? And one more thing, and I do think it's fair criticism, but I don't think everybody's looking at this with the best understanding. But I do think there's fair criticism when people say, hey, all of these victims, and we'll go to some clips from the victims later, and they say, hey, all of these victims, why don't they just name names? So it's like, okay, it's fair criticism, and maybe there's a way they can go about it, but let's just don't be so hasty here. Okay? I don't think it would be a very comfortable or fun situation for one of these victims to come out and name a name of somebody that raped them, let's say, or molested them or whatever. I think we need to be a little more. It's like, hey, okay, fair question, perhaps fair criticism. Why don't you just name names, and maybe there's a way you can do it. And that did come up during the hearing, by the way, which now the Department of Justice and the FBI, the victims are claiming are ignoring them. The victims are now claiming that the DOJ and the FBI are ignoring their claims. So, I understand, hey, why aren't you just naming names? Okay, fair question. But also at the same time, if you got raped by one of these old billionaires, if you got raped by one of these old crusty ass freaks, you probably wouldn't want to say that. You probably wouldn't want that image and idea with you in people's heads and out there in the public. So let's just kind of think, yeah, fair question, fair criticism, but also let's understand here that, you know, there is a level of embarrassment, shame, and everything that comes along with that when you're a victim of these things. So it's kind of like, let's just be easy with that one. But we'll see where it goes. It did come up today. So here was Raskin. Again, folks, Jamie Raskin. This guy sucks. This guy's one of the scum of the scum. And he made Pam Bondi look bad. When you're getting owned by Jamie Raskin, you are just in a real bad spot.
Will you create a joint task force of the Department of Justice and governors and state attorney generals and district attorneys across the country to investigate the crimes that have taken place against these victims and more than 1,000 like them? The DOJ is not doing its job. Will you create a task force with state and local law enforcement to make that happen?
Lady can respond. She wants to.
Thank you, Chairman. He called Chase Mulligan a wild goose chase and didn't even know who he was. He is a defendant in your own district who preyed on girls.
Mr. Chairman.
Well, you know what? If he were part of the Epstein investigation, you wouldn't do anything about it.
Online chat rooms and committed sex.
Will you create a joint?
So this is what I was talking about earlier. She looked up every single Democrat district. So she looked up Jamie Raskin's district. She found a sex criminal charged and prosecuted in his district. And instead, so this was what she did to prepare for this. Instead of preparing to answer questions about the Epstein files, which she knew she was going to be asked, instead, she looked up Jamie Raskin's district. She found a charged sex offender, and she brought his name up as the argument. Folks, you can't deny Raskin got her here. First of all, she just refuses to answer. And then she goes and does her little opposition research and says, well, we arrested this sex offender in your district. Won't even answer the question. And she got owned by Raskin. When you're getting owned by Jamie Raskin, folks, there's no recovering. I mean, there is no denying Jamie Raskin just got Pam Bondi.
Enforcement to make that happen.
Lady can respond. She wants to.
Thank you, Chairman. He called Chase Mulligan a wild goose chase and didn't even know who he was. He is a defendant in your own district who preyed on girls.
Mr. Chairman.
Well, you know what? If he were part of the Epstein investigation, you wouldn't do anything about it.
Gotcha, bitch. Pam Bondi got owned by Jamie Raskin today, guys. That's how bad it is. Owned by Jamie Raskin. Unbelievable. It was so bad because Republicans were told not to ask about Epstein. They were sacrificing their own time. You only get 5 minutes. Your time in these committees is like gold, and they were giving it up.
Give all 80 seconds to Chairman Jordan.
And I would just yield to the Attorney General if she has anything to add.
I'm fine to continue. Thank you, Chairman.
All right, the chair.
Folks, they were sacrificing their own time. You understand? You get 5 minutes. You get 5 minutes, and you're lucky because you can work as a team in there, and you can give time to other people and sacrifice time, and there's different rules to kind of extend time and get more time. But it's like you got 5 minutes. That time is gold. Like your time in these committee hearings is gold. And Republicans were just like, yeah, I don't need the time. No, thanks. Give up my time. You never see that. You never see that. But they were told not to ask or talk about Epstein, so that's what you get. Don't tell me Ted Lieu. Don't tell me that Pam Bondi gets owned by Ted Lieu. Please no.
Former Prince Andrew, Donald Trump attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know, were there any underage girls at that party or at any party that Trump attended with Jeffrey Epstein?
This is so ridiculous, and that they are trying to deflect from all the great things Donald Trump has done. There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that. This has been the most transparent president.
I'm going to play this again, folks. She didn't answer the question. Folks, this is so bad. This is so bad. This is so bad. Let me remind you and play this clip again. Pam Bondi A said that there were victims that were children and videos of minors in the Epstein files. That is a fact. Okay? That is a fact. It is also a fact that Pam Bondi is under oath. Pam Bondi is under oath. So now that we've laid out this context, let's play the clip again. Pam Bondi has said there were victims that were minors. Pam Bondi is under oath right now answering questions.
Former Prince Andrew, Donald Trump attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know, were there any underage girls at that party or at any party that Trump attended with Jeffrey Epstein?
This is so ridiculous, and that they are trying to deflect.
Why can't she say no? This is bad, folks. This is bad. I'm not making any accusations of Trump. Okay? Why can't Bondi, under oath, say no to that question?
From all the great things Donald Trump has done. There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that. This has been the most transparent
That wasn't the question. Why can't you answer the question?
presidency. He's the one that asked that those files
I'm reclaiming my time.
be
I got
released.
your answer. You said there's no
President
evidence.
Trump asked
Chairman, please
I'd like
stop
to
the clock.
reclaim my
Please
time.
stop the clock.
the legislation. This is
Time,
this
I'd like
is
to reclaim
ridiculous.
my time.
time belongs to the gentleman from
Okay.
California.
Okay.
This is ridiculous as she twirls her hair. It's ridiculous that we're trying to get down to the bottom of the most prolific pedophile and child sex trafficker that you yourself admitted had minor victims, child victims of sex crimes, and we're trying to figure out what goes on, and you can't even answer a basic question, and now it's ridiculous to even try to find out. Folks, this is so bad. This is just a disaster.
I'm going to put up another document from a witness who called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center because I believe you just lied under oath.
And by the way, just to be clear, to reiterate, notice how she's flipping through her files here. She's flipping through her files to find her little opposition research on Ted Lieu's district so that now that she can't answer any Epstein questions, she's going to bring up some crime that happened in Ted Lieu's district and use that to filibuster, basically.
My time.
Time belongs to the gentleman from
Okay.
California.
Okay. I'm going to put up another document from a witness who called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center because I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein file.
Don't you ever accuse me of a
I
crime.
believe you just lied under oath, and this is all on videotape. You said there's no evidence of crime. I'm showing you, here is a witness statement who called into the FBI's Threat Operations Center. He drove Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry, he was going to stop a limo and hurt Donald Trump. And he met a girl who said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She later had her head blown off, and officers at the scene said that could not have been suicide. No one at the Department of Justice interviewed this witness. You need to interview this witness immediately. Epstein should rot in hell. So should the men who patronized his operation. And as we sit here today, there are over 1,000 sex trafficking victims, and you have not held a single man accountable. Shame on you. If you had any decency, you would resign right after this hearing concludes.
The gentleman has expired.
I think Pam Bondi might belong in prison. I think she belongs in prison, guys. She broke the law. If she lied under oath and she perjured herself, then she needs to pay the consequences. I thought nobody was above the law, guys. Now, you might disagree with that. But she didn't release the Epstein files when she was supposed to by law. That is a fact. I'm done. I'm not, no one's above the law. Oh, unless it's a Republican. Remember that? No one's above the law unless it's a Democrat. Now it's no one's above the law unless it's a Republican. You're all frauds. You're all frauds. This is embarrassing. Pam Bondi is beyond an embarrassment. She might be criminal. She might literally be criminal because of this. I don't cover up for criminals. I don't play the fake left-right Republicans versus Democrat game with you clowns. This was beyond a disaster. And when you're up there getting owned by the likes of Ted Lieu and Jamie Raskin, you are so far out of your element, or you are so criminally negligent or complicit, there's just no way around it. There's just no way around it, guys. She's asked to confront the victims. It doesn't go well.
Jeffrey Epstein, will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through with the absolutely unacceptable release of the Epstein files and their information?
Congresswoman, you sat before, Merrick Garland sat in this chair twice.
Attorney General
Twice.
Bondi.
No, can I finish my answer?
No, I'm going to reclaim my time because I asked you a specific question that I would like you to answer, which is, will you turn to the survivors? This is not about anybody that came before you. It is about you taking responsibility for your Department of Justice and the harm that it has done to the survivors who are standing right behind you and are waiting for you to turn to them and apologize for what your Department of Justice has done.
Members get to ask the questions, the witness gets to answer in the way they want to answer. The Attorney General can
That's
respond.
not accurate, Mr. Chairman.
Because she doesn't like the answer. So,
Mr. Chairman,
why
I have asked
didn't she ask Merrick Garland this?
I am
twice
reclaiming my time, and when I
So, guys, I told you earlier, I'll say it again. This is failed logic. This, but they didn't do it. It doesn't work here. Isn't that the point, that we're supposed to be better? Isn't that the point, that you're better than Merrick Garland? Like, isn't that the whole point here, is that we're not the Democrats? We're not the Biden administration, and you're not Merrick Garland? And now you're simply sitting here saying, well, because they did it, I'm going to do it too? This doesn't work. So you're admitting that you're just as bad as Merrick Garland now. That's what you're admitting here. Merrick Garland didn't address this, so I'm not going to address this. And here's another thing I find funny. Just let me add this one in there, too. All of these people talking about Chris Wray. You're going to see a lot of people posting about, Chris Wray didn't do this. Chris Wray didn't do that. Why aren't they going after Chris Wray? Hey, numbskulls, who appointed Chris Wray? Donald Trump. It's amazing, guys. These people on the right, these ignoramuses on the right now, they don't even do basic research. We gotcha. You didn't do this. Chris Wray didn't do this. Chris Wray didn't do that. Donald Trump appointed Chris Wray, you idiots. Merrick Garland's bad. He wouldn't address the victims. Merrick Garland's bad. He wouldn't help the victims. Merrick Garland. And now you're up here doing the exact same thing. So you're admitting you're just as bad as Merrick Garland. I can't believe people fall for this crap.
I will continue
my
to
time.
answer.
Mr. Chairman, the gentlelady's reclaimed her
I'm not going
time.
to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
The time belongs to the gentlelady. The gentlelady.
You're in the gutter. You're in the gutter, babe. You're in the gutter, and you're going to be lucky if there's not a giant movement against you to be in prison.
He has 17 seconds.
Thank you. You're not going to answer this question, so let me just
Chairman,
say this.
I'll direct it to
what
you.
a massive
No, I'm
cover-up.
answering a
Mr.
question.
Chairman, will you restore her time? The witness is
I'm not going to get
interrupted.
in the gutter with this woman.
Stop the
She's
time
doing
and
theatrics.
let me have my time.
The gentlelady from Washington controls the time. The gentlelady has 17 seconds. You can proceed with your final 17 seconds.
What a massive cover-up this has been and continues to be. Donald Trump made the release of the Epstein files the center of his political campaign because he thought it would benefit him. Then you got into office, Attorney General, claimed to have a client list, only to then say that there was no list. Your deputy, Todd Blanche, met alone with Ghislaine Maxwell and transferred her to a minimum security prison. And now you continue the cover-up. And I wish that you would turn around to the survivors who are standing right behind you and on a human level,
Chairman,
apologize
now recognizes the chairman.
on what you have done.
Time of the gentlelady expired. The gentlelady, you have no time to yield back. We appreciate that. We appreciate the thought.
Unreal. How can they be so bad at this? Like, how can you be so bad at this? I mean, folks, Pam Bondi looked she looked purely demonic in that clip. Pure demon energy, pure demon optics. How can you be so bad at this? Jayapal, Raskin, and Ted Lieu are owning you. You got to be the worst ever. Now, this is where they might run into problems. In fact, you know what? Let's pull the cash clip down. Let's pull the cash clip down. Maybe we'll pull it up later if it becomes relevant. But basically, Pam Bondi's testimony would indicate that Kash Patel may have perjured himself during his testimony. But let's pull out of that for a second, because Patel said there are no co-conspirators. We have no evidence of any co-conspirators. And if we did, then we would bring them in. But Bondi said today that they do have evidence of co-conspirators and they are investigating co-conspirators. So, I guess, forget about, Patel's not going to go down for perjury or anything. The plausible deniability is that he's going to say it's all compartmentalized. The FBI never saw the files. And that'll be straight enough. But Patel says we have no evidence of co-conspirators. And as far as he knows, if there were, then they'd have the evidence and they'd be having investigations. But then the DOJ says we do have evidence and we are running investigations. So, again, it's just a mess. All right, let's go into the Massey clips now. And we got a couple of these. Let's go into the fireworks between Massey and Bondi.
I have several questions for you. Who's responsible? Are you able to track who in your organization made this massive failure and released the victims' names? Are you able to track who it was that obscured Les Wexner's name as a co-conspirator in an FBI document? Do you have that kind of accountability?
I believe Wexner's name was listed more than 4,000 times.
Yeah, I already told you that. This is where he's listed as a co-conspirator.
Can I finish my answer? Come on, let me finish my answer. We corrected that within 40 minutes. He was already, you're acting like everybody's trying to cover up Wexner's name.
Reclaiming my time.
I'm going to answer this question.
Reclaiming my time.
Mr.
Chairman.
This is how this works.
Can I have my time back? Mr. Chairman.
The gentlelady can give her answer. The time belongs to the gentleman from.
All right, I'm reclaiming my time.
Can I give my answer?
So I'm going to put the language of the bill up on the screen.
Chairman, may I give my answer on that? It's a political joke, and I need to give my answer on that.
We'll let the Attorney General respond, and then the gentleman can move to his next question.
It's my time.
Within 40 minutes, you.
So there's a lot of chaos here. Let me clear this up, because Bondi is trying to create the chaos. Obviously, she refused to answer the question, and now she's filibustering. So what Massey is saying, the two first things he has presenting behind him, one is the list of the victims whose names they didn't redact. In fact, if I can show you here. So this is the list of victims. They redacted one of the names right here, and the rest of these Massey redacted. So these are the white redactions done by Massey's team. This was the black redaction was done by the DOJ. They were supposed to redact all of these names. Now, they can't say that this was a mistake because they redacted one of the names. So Massey is asking, who is it that let this list of names out? You guys can't claim it was a mistake because somebody saw it and redacted one name. You were supposed to redact all these names. He's asking, who did this? She doesn't answer. He's asking, who redacted Les Wexner from the co-conspirator list. So this is the co-conspirator list. This is the redaction of Les Wexner right here by the DOJ. And Bondi, again, just completely ignorant, says, well, Wexner's name was in the files a bunch. Yes. There's a difference between the emails and the files with his name and the FBI co-conspirator list that you redacted. And Bondi just thinks, oh, nobody's going to understand that. Nobody's going to know the difference. I'm going to come up here and scream and shout and yell and cause a distraction and chaos and filibuster. And so that's what's going on here. And you'll find out later, Massey is the one that forced him to do this. No, Bondi is getting embarrassed by everybody up there who brings up the Epstein files.
I'm going to answer this question.
You're claiming my time.
He was,
Mr. Chairman.
This is how this works.
Can I have my time? Mr. Chairman.
The gentlelady can give her answer. The time belongs to the gentleman from
All right, I'm reclaiming my time.
Can I give my answer?
So I'm going to put the language of the bill up on the screen.
Chairman,
Because
may I
have
give my
another
answer
question.
on that? It's a political
the question.
joke, and I need to give my answer on that.
We'll let the Attorney General respond, and then the gentleman can move to his next question.
It's my time.
Within 40 minutes, you asked me a question.
You can give
Within
me-
40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
Red-handed. There was one redaction out
Where
of
he's
over
listed as a
4,700,
co-conspirator.
and
Okay.
we invited
what?
you
Show the video.
in. This
Show
guy
the-
has Trump
Gentlemen.
derangement syndrome. He needs
Show
to.
the
You're a failed politician.
Yeah.
He has not even brought up Trump's name, Bimbo Bondi. Nobody even brought up Trump's name except you. You're the one that redacted. Well, he's asking who redacted the co-conspirator list. You won't answer. He's asking who let the victims' names out. You won't answer. Instead, you want to fluff Trump a little bit more. This is so pathetic.
Epstein,
I want you to watch the video.
Mr. Chairman, please restore his time.
This is just so pathetic, guys. I can't believe how pathetic Bondi is. What an absolute disaster. We got a couple more of these clips. This one is going to overlap a little bit. Let's play this.
Did you ask Merrick Garland that the last 4 years? Did you talk about Epstein?
I'm reclaiming
all
my
the
time.
last
I'm
4
glad you're
years?
asking about Merrick Garland.
You get a reclaimed
because
time
this
when
is
you don't-
bigger
when
than
you can't-
Watergate.
When I don't answer a question
This
the way you
goes
want.
over 4 administrations. You don't have to go back to Biden. Let's go back to Obama. Let's go back to George Bush. This cover-up spans decades, and you are responsible for this portion of it.
And that's
Now,
where the
I want to
most
know at
transparent-
what point did the FBI and the DOJ decide that Lex Wessner was not a co-conspirator? Because our Epstein Files Transparency Act requires you, please put it back on the screen, please, to release the internal decision about whether to prosecute him or not. And it's not in the files, and it's not in the files for any of these other men.
Time of the gentleman has
Which,
expired.
may she answer?
And he's a hypocrite because he voted against the ban that we were talking about on deep fake AI porn. Only 2 people voted against it, and you were one of them.
Pam Bondi broke the law. She belongs in prison. She broke the law. She belongs in prison. No one's above the law, right, guys? No one's above the law, right, Republicans? Oh, no one's above the law except Democrats. Okay, let's hear you. Pam Bondi broke the law. Thomas Massey just laid it out. And she still refuses to answer the questions. And this is the game that she plays. Oh, well, so this is her opposition research on Massey. She didn't do research to do her job to answer basic questions. She did opposition research on the members of the House that were going to ask her questions. The reason Thomas Massey voted against this one bill that she's talking about, and this is what they do. They give you a bill and they say, oh, look, here's this one issue on this bill that everybody should support. And then there's 20 other issues of total corruption. So yes, if you had a single issue bill about the deep fake issue, Thomas Massey would vote to stop the deep fakes. 100 times out of 100, he would vote for that. But when you put the deep fake bill and then 20 lines of corruption underneath it, Thomas Massey doesn't vote for that. So here's Pam Bondi being a liar and a corrupt politician and probably even breaking the law. So no one's above the law, right, Republicans? Right, guys? I thought no one was above the law, guys.
Respond, and then the gentleman can move to his next question.
It's my time.
Within 40 minutes, you asked me a question.
You can
Within
give me-
40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes
You
of me catching you red-handed.
Bingo. Bingo. And she won't answer who redacted the co-conspirator list. She won't answer who put the names of the victims out with the files, which is clearly a warning shot. Clearly a warning shot. Clearly a warning shot to those other victims to say, hey, we're going to put your name out there. You dare step forward, you dare talk about who did it, you dare talk about what went on, we're going to put your names out there, and we all know what that means. And here's the law. Here's the law that says you must unredact all co-conspirators. Right there in the bill. Right there in the bill, Pam. Right there in the bill, Bondi. And it says they must unredact every co-conspirator, and they redacted Les Wexner, and Massey called him out on it because it was illegal, and so Pam Bondi then unredacted Les Wexner. She broke the law. So let's hear all the no one's above the law talk. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. I'm going to move on from a couple of these other clips. Let's go now to Nadler. Jerry Nadler, the Penguin. The Penguin is going to get one over on Bondi.
I really have just one question for you. How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First, you showed it. I find it.
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No,
Your
you're going to answer the
theatrics are
question the
ridiculous.
way I asked it.
Chairman Jordan, I'm not going to get in the gutter with these people.
What theatrics? Jerry the Penguin Nadler just got one over on Pam Bondi. I can't believe anybody who's supporting this woman. I cannot believe anybody who is going to try to argue that this woman's performance was good today. She has now been owned by Nadler, by Raskin, by Lou, by Jayapal. Oh, we're not done either. We're not done. The scummiest of the scum, the dumbest of the dumb, Hank Johnson. The Democrats are up here wrecking Pam Bondi, wrecking her. You think I'm a fan of Jerry Nadler? Please. Please. But I'm an honest person. I call it as I see it. Tell me what is unreasonable about this question. What is, Pam Bondi says, oh, these are theatrics. What is theatrical about this question from Jerry Nadler? This is a totally reasonable question that she should be able and prepared to answer, knowing it was going to come up today.
I really have just one question for you. How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First, you showed it. I find it.
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No,
Your
you're going to answer the
theatrics are
question.
She's coming off like a second grade girl. Pam Bondi looks like a second grade girl right here. She looks like a kindergarten brat.
The way I asked it.
Chairman Jordan, I'm not going to get in the gutter with these people, but I'm going to answer the question.
How many have you indicted?
Again, the time
You're
belongs to
claiming my time.
the time belongs.
I think it's very
You're claiming
interesting.
my time.
I think it's very
You're claiming my
interesting.
time.
And you can
When
reclaim
he
your
talks
time.
about they
You're claiming my time,
indicted,
Mr.
the
Chairman.
president said they
Stop the
indicted
clock.
him
Mr.
twice.
Chairman, please
They
stop the
sure
clock
did.
and stop the
he
clock and
indicted.
restore his time.
Okay, here we go with these
Committee will be in order.
theatrics.
The time belongs to
time
the
and
gentleman
back
from
the
New
clock,
York.
please.
We will give you a few more seconds. We will do that. But when
claiming
you ask
my-
a question, The witness
question
gets to
was-
answer. You may not like the answer, but she
Right.
gets to
The
answer.
question was, how many of Epstein's...
They don't like
Que-
the answer,
Reclaiming
Chairman,
my time.
because it's honest.
Reclaiming-
So he asked a
There is no answer. You don't answer the questions. This is unreal.
Reclaiming my
4-minute
time.
question.
Restore 45
And
seconds
I
to
am
Mr. Nadler,
going
please,
to
Mr. Chairman.
answer.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch.
Reclaiming-
Not on our time. No way.
Reclaiming-
And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I
anything,
did tell you because we saw.
Actually, yeah, that's the flow of power here, Bondi. Yes, actually, Congress does oversight over the DOJ. Actually, that's exactly the flow of power here. And for somebody that works in government and is apparently a successful prosecutor and a legal scholar, and this has always been my beef, this idea that somehow these bureaucracies are above Congress. They're not. Congress does oversight of the bureaucracies. No, Pam Bondi, you do not have the authority here. This is congressional oversight of you and your DOJ. That's how this works. Unbelievable stuff. And you know what, guys? Again, you think I have anything nice to say about the last administration? You think I have anything nice to say about the last DOJ? They put me in prison. They tormented me for 5 years, peeing in cups, combing through bank records, solitary confinement, you name it. This is a worse performance than anything we ever saw out of Merrick Garland. I don't think there has ever been a worse performance from an attorney general during a congressional hearing than this. This is the worst performance of any attorney general at any congressional hearing ever that I've ever seen. It's just true.
Have you apologized to President Trump? Have you apologized to President Trump, all of you who participated in those impeachments?
By the way, nobody brought up President Trump. She just goes into these tirades. What, do you want to sleep with them or something? Is that what this is about? Is this some pitch with your brown nose? With your big fat stinking brown nose? Are you trying to get in bed with Trump? What is this? Nobody even brings Trump up and she starts ranting about Trump.
Have you apologized to President Trump? Have you apologized to President Trump, all of you who participated in those impeachment hearings against Donald Trump? You all should be apologizing. You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it.
Nobody attacked the president. Nobody even said Trump's name. You just started talking about him. And by the way, Pam, where were you? I was actually there defending President Trump. You weren't. I was. I went to jail for that, Pam. And I'm here to tell you, you're a joke, you're a disaster, and you probably belong in prison.
But, instead of talking about Ghislaine Maxwell, who hopefully will die in prison.
Who's Ghislaine Maxwell? Ghislaine Maxwell. Are you that stupid? Notice what she says here, too.
But, instead of talking about Ghislaine Maxwell, who hopefully will die in prison.
Oh, you screwed up big time now, Pam. Trump is probably going to pardon her. Trump is probably going to grant her clemency. And now you just screwed up big. You shouldn't have said that. The whole deal is to get Maxwell out of prison, don't you know? Just like every other Israeli criminal in this country that we pardon and release and send back to Israel. Don't you know, Pam? Don't you know the story here? You just screwed up big time, Pam. The plan is to get Maxwell out of jail, and you just said you want her to die in jail. Oh, you shouldn't have said that.
Hopefully will die in prison. You should be talking about Irina Zarutska.
I have a couple
who
of
died
other
on a
questions.
subway.
Right, and I absolutely...
You don't talk about that.
I have been talking about it and actually helping with these issues. But we're going to move back to you.
I bet we are.
Yes, of course, because you're here to testify. That's what the whole point of this endeavor is. So,
I mean, folks, this is so embarrassing. Look at this. So she tries to bring up an incident on a subway. And it's like, hey, we're talking about something else. That's a city issue. That's a local issue. We're here to talk about something under the DOJ's purview. And you're deflecting towards a crime that happened how many months ago in New York City that has nothing to do with you. And then you think this is some sort of a gotcha moment, like, oh, of course we're going to bring this back to me. You're under testimony. What are you talking about? Who is she supposed to go to?
Back to you.
I bet we are.
Yes, of course, because you're here to testify. That's what the whole point of this endeavor is. So of course we're moving back to you. It is all about you. So as we've heard, she took the fifth in response to every single question in that committee hearing. And her lawyer dangled the offer of clemency. Should Donald Trump pardon or commute her sentence? Should she be released from prison? Yes or no? You said you hope she dies there, so I'm hoping the answer is no.
I already answered that question.
Good. I'm very glad. I really like this bipartisan agreement about
when
what
it
should
agrees
happen.
with you, but you don't want to talk about Irina Zarutska. You don't want to talk about
I talk about
murdered
her all
by
the
a
time,
violent crime
but
offender
I am not
in
here
your
to
jurisdiction.
testify before Congress. You are. That is your job today.
You are
That's what you're getting paid for.
obsessed with attacking.
I want you.
Again, Maxwell falls under the purview of the DOJ. This is the big story. This is the big human interest story. This is what we're talking about. And she's deflecting. We're going to talk about this subway attack. No, that's a New York City or that's a Charlotte, Carolina, wherever it happened. No, that's a local issue. This is a DOJ issue with Maxwell, and she's deflecting. I can't believe was this the worst moment? I don't know if you could say the worst moment. The whole thing was just one disaster after the next. The whole thing was just one car crash after the next with Bondi here. This might have been the worst moment. When she was asked about Jeffrey Epstein's human trafficking network, she said this.
And none of them asked Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, and by the way, that's including Republicans. So I've already told you how this logic fails. So, hey, Merrick Garland didn't have to answer questions about Epstein, so neither do I. Okay, so you're just as bad as Merrick Garland. Thank you for admitting that. So you and Merrick Garland are just as bad as one another. And by the way, all the Republicans were there, and none of them asked about Epstein either. So, I'm owning the Democrats. You didn't say anything about Epstein to Merrick Garland. Neither did the Republicans. So the Republicans are just as guilty as the Democrats, and you're just as guilty as Merrick Garland. So this isn't the own you think it is. And then what does she do?
How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan.
Are you kidding? You think this is a victory for you? But guys, again, notice this. Notice what she does. What is she going to do here? Watch this.
The Dow, right?
She goes to her notes. This is from her notes. This was part of her preparation. Oh, whenever I get a hard question about Epstein, I'm going to go to my notes and I'm going to reference the stock market. This is from her notes.
Right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I.
Because your incompetence is hilarious. You're a joke, Pam. You're a joke. You just got owned by the Democrats. You just got owned by Ted Lieu, Jamie Raskin, Jerry Nadler, Jaya Paul, Hank Johnson, Eric Swalwell. You just got owned by the Democrats. That's what's funny here. And you think citing the stock market numbers is a winning argument? You're even dumber than you look. Oh, boy. And then there was this. And then there was this. Unbelievable. But of course it was going to happen.
Didn't hear didn't see one tweet, not one. I didn't see one tweet when Joe Biden was in office about Bill Clinton. Didn't ask Merrick Garland anything about Epstein, not once when he was.
Weak sauce.
And also, I want the record to reflect that, with this anti-Semitic culture right now, she voted against a resolution condemning.
Is
the
Julie.
I
just want to be clear. Do you want to go there, Attorney General? Or do you want to go there? Are you serious? Talking about anti-Semitism to a woman who lost her grandfather in the Holocaust. Really?
The committee will be in order.
Talk to Jared Wise about anti-Semitism.
The ranking member.
Pam Bondi claims anti-Semitism to the woman who lost her grandfather in the Holocaust. I mean, folks, this is out of control. In this culture of anti-Semitism, this is crazy. What a clown show. What a clown show. All right. Let's do this. Let's finish off with the hearing from today. This is the clip of Patel and the Democrats claiming he's lied under oath, and now they're claiming that Bondi's testimony today proves it.
California.
Great, thank you. Madam Attorney General, you acknowledged earlier to Mr. Johnson that President Trump was mentioned and the release countless times, you said, in the Epstein files. I just want to play a video, though, for you that I think speaks to the frustration that many of these victims have. Of times Trump's name appears in the files, so it could at least be 1,000 times. Is that right?
The number is a total misleading factor. We have not released anyone's name in the Epstein files that has not been credible.
Director, could it at
we have
least be 1,000
released
times?
every piece of legally permissible information.
Okay,
you can
so-
characterize the numbers however you want it.
Claiming my time, Director. It sounds like if you don't know the number, it could at least be 1,000 times. Which
It's not.
leads me-
It's not.
Is it at least 500 times?
No.
Is it at least 100 times?
No.
Then what's the number?
I don't know the number.
I understand why the victims are frustrated. And the Attorney General acknowledged what Mr. Patel would not acknowledge, that it was way more than 1,000 times. But I want to move, Madam Attorney General, to weaponization of government. And yesterday it was reported.
What a disaster. What an absolute disaster. Now, I warned President Trump that the real fighters that would have his back through thick and thin, that he's now thrown under the bus, now that he doesn't want us anymore, and he's going to ride with the neocons and the right-wing establishment. I warned eventually they'd turn on him and throw him under the bus too. I warned. And now this is so bad. Now this house is burning to the ground. It might start beginning. Tim Scott asserted that Trump was a racist for the Obama post the other day. And then there was this from Senator Thune.
There have been several members of the British political class, the royal family, have lost their positions as a result of them appearing in the Epstein files. That same level of penalty has not happened here in the United States, particularly with members of the Trump cabinet, Howard Lutnick in particular. Do you think there should be more scrutiny around Americans who have appeared in the Epstein files?
Well, look, I think it's going to be ultimately what happens there is probably going to be up to the American people. And what I've been for, and I've been very clear about this from the outset, is full disclosure. Get the information out there. Let's have transparency. And I think that's being done. And so, for people whose names appear or in some context might be in the Epstein files, they're going to have to answer the questions around that. And I think the American people are going to have to make judgments about whether or not they think those answers are sufficient.
You see where this is going, folks? You see where this is going? I tried to warn them. They didn't listen to me. They told me to shut the F up. Okay. Now look at you. Now you're getting embarrassed by Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. Now you've got senators that are ready to turn on you in an instant if they realize the Epstein files will bring them down. So you see, this is what I was saying. This is what I was saying at the beginning of the show. This is so bad. It's so bad. I'm like, how can it be this bad? I can't, that's what I'm saying. I can't even believe that Trump would F up this bad. I can't even believe it. It's the odds that Trump effed this second administration up this bad to me. The odds are now so low that I'm now comparing it to the odds of Q being real. That's where I'm at now. This thing is so bad, so bad, so astronomically, impossibly bad that I'm now putting it into the same odds of Q being real. The odds of Q being real are now the same odds that this administration is really this bad. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at now. It's like, really? Pam Bondi? Really? Really? Move on from the Epstein files? Really? The Epstein files are a hoax? Really? We're going to put out the victims' names? Really? We're going to redact the co-conspirators? Really? We're going to bring in Netanyahu for the 6th time? Really? We're going to get into a war with Iran for Israel? I mean, really? It's this bad? It's this bad? How could it be this bad? So, yeah, it's like, okay, save Israel for last. So is that where we're at? Or is it really just this bad? It's crazy. So get ready now. The victims of the Epstein network are now going to be louder than maybe ever. They might be louder than ever. And I'm telling you, folks, I'm telling you, this concept of the Trump loyalists in the Republican Party, it's very shallow. It's very shallow. As soon as these Republicans realize that they can gain political points, as soon as these Republicans realize that going strong and hard on the Epstein files is a path to victory, they will all turn on Trump. It's not going to be just Massey. Okay? And they'll do the both sidesism. Folks, I got Lauren Boebert. I got Nancy Mace. They're going hard on this stuff. They're not giving it up. And now you've got John Thune talking about it. I'm telling you, folks, they will all turn on Trump. If the political winds are in the favor, they will all turn. And that's why I'm like, how could it be this bad? How could he have not seen this coming? So here's some of the victims. This was some of the victims this morning. So you can only imagine what they said afterwards.
To Ms. Bondi, we are deeply disappointed by the way you and your leadership in this department have treated survivors. And today, while you're being questioned, we ask you to look in the eyes of every single one of us and remember Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who paid the ultimate sacrifice for the trauma that she had endured. We ask you to remember the lives that we have lost during this process. Accountability means real answers, not evasion. It means transparency, not more hiding. To Ms. Bondi.
Yeah, Virginia Giuffre, who, killed herself. Obviously, the victims don't buy it. And you know what, Pam Bondi? She didn't look at the victims once today. She didn't address the victims once today. She didn't look at the victims once today. Very telling. I'd say very telling. You know what? I understand that might be difficult, and you might not even want to do it because it feels like you're getting dragged into it. But still, for the optics and for the obvious reasons, you still address the victims and, at least with the platitudes. And she couldn't even do that.
We as a nation have an opportunity to send a strong message that we will not protect people who victimize children, that we will stand up for what is right, despite what our politics are, that we will cross the aisle, and that we will stand behind survivors for justice. We keep hearing our press secretary and our Department of Justice and other government officials saying they're moving on from this. I wish that we could. I met Epstein and Maxwell when I was 21 years old. I'm nearly 53 now. We cannot move on as survivors of this crime and as citizens of this nation without changing this narrative. So I ask you all to stand behind us and demand accountability for our government, because we certainly are going to.
It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse, guys. So now the people in the Epstein files, now they're dealing with it in public. They're dealing with it when they get seen in public. Here's the, what's his name? Deepak Chopra. Here's this guy in the Epstein files. He's getting addressed.
Mr. Chopra, sir, how are you? Sir, I've got to ask you, listen, sir, you built your entire career. You built your entire career on spirituality. What do you have to say about your actions with Epstein? Any regrets? You have any regrets? I said, do you have any regrets about your relationship with Epstein? What's that? You want me to decide?
It's only going to keep happening. It's only going to keep happening. This is just the beginning, folks. This is just the beginning. And the more the Trump administration and Bondi try to cover this thing up, the worse it's going to get. The louder the victims are going to get. The louder the people in the media are going to get. The louder the Democrats are going to get. The louder the people in the streets are going to get. And Levitt, I don't know how much longer she's going to last. I got to be honest. She can't feel comfortable being forced to say things like this.
Thanks, Caroline. Secretary Litnick today was testifying on the Hill, and he said that he had visited Epstein's Island in 2012 with his wife and children. And that's after he said that he had cut ties with Epstein. And the Justice Department documents show that he was in contact with Epstein through 2018 over messages. So does the White House stand behind Secretary Litnick right now? Or given what he has said today, has there been any shift in how the White House is viewing Secretary Litnick's performance?
No, Secretary Litnick remains a very important member of President Trump's team, and the president fully supports the secretary. I will just point out that there are a lot of wins in the news this week that people in this room have not asked about, because you continue to ask questions about the same subject. So let me point them out for you.
Yeah. The wins with the backdrop of satanic pedophile networks. I'm sorry. It's a little distracting, actually. But she doesn't wear the crucifix anymore. Maybe that's a sign. I don't know how much longer she's going to last. Once she gets a little more pregnant and has the kid, that's probably going to be it for her. I don't think she's going to want to stick around much longer, to be honest. I'm telling you, folks, people are going to start dropping like flies. I'm telling you. This thing is so bad. Oh, boy. Meanwhile, more evidence that Epstein is still alive. The Ditch gained access to Epstein's FedEx account, still live. Shipments in 2024. Address book with 90-plus names. They got in there and they found out it was still live and accessible and somebody was using it. So video game accounts, email accounts, FedEx accounts. What is going on? Lauren Boebert, one of the few good ones left in Congress willing to go here, last night with Rob Schmidt.
There are code words that suggest Jeffrey Epstein and his associates could maybe even be engaging in some sort of consumption? Is that human consumption? Are there code words? There's a lot of talk of beef jerky. There's a restaurant called The Cannibal where the owner is listed in some of these documents. Now, that isn't a restaurant that is just proclaiming to serve human meat by any means. But some of this just, it seems that there's a lot of conspiracies that make you wonder. And I saw more emails about torture, and these coded conversations still have a very clear topic that torture was big. It was a big driver for them. And these were sick people doing very, very sick things. There are.
Thank you. Thank you, Lauren. And please don't stop. Please don't stop, Lauren. The American people will have your back. And, you know, again, it's just like even the retard Democrats today who were able to get one over on Bondi time and time again, which is an easy win. It's like, you know, one of us is trying to expose a giant pedophile network. The other is Pam Bondi. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to win on that deal for her. But it's like even they don't ask the right questions. It's like, hey, Pam, what are all these references of pizza and grape soda and jerky? I want her on record saying that, oh, Epstein just liked pizza and grape soda and jerky. I want her on record. I want Pam Bondi on congressional record saying that those things just mean what they mean. I mean, it's hilarious. It's like if it was just one thing or maybe two or maybe even three. No, it's all kinds of code language. And then the torture and then the killing and then the whoops and then the kids. I mean, it's just like, give me a freaking break. Again, we don't get gaslit here. That doesn't work here. We don't get gaslit. Oh, yes, here's Jeffrey Epstein. Here's Jeffrey Epstein, the most prolific pedophile and sex trafficker on the planet, financier of all the billionaires. Here's Jeffrey Epstein, and he's just into good family, good, wholesome, innocent fun like pizza parties and drinking grape soda. And he just has some weird addiction and obsession with beef jerky. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on, guys. Yeah, this prolific pedophile and financier, he was just into good, wholesome family fun. Pizza and grape soda with beef jerky. Come on, guys. Duh. I mean, please, get me that on congressional record from Pam Bondi. That is truly outrageous levels of comedy. We're not going to be gaslit here. Not going to be gaslit here. All right. You know what? I've got some of the raw files, but I think we've done enough of this for now. And we can hold these over for tomorrow. So let's go into some other things here before we get into the super chat. This was, by the way, Nancy Mace on Bill Maher last night. This stuff is so hilarious. Here's Nancy Mace and Bill Maher. They want you to know about the Christians in Nigeria, guys. Remember?
If you don't know what's going on in Nigeria, your media sources suck. You are in a bubble. And again, I'm not a Christian, but they are systematically killing the Christians in Nigeria. They've killed over 100,000 since 2009. They burned 18,000 churches. This is so much more. These are their Islamists, Boko Haram. This is so much more of a genocide attempt than what is going on in Gaza. They are literally attempting to wipe out the Christian population of an entire country. Where are the kids protesting this?
Thank you. Thank you. Because no one will talk about it, so thank you.
Absolutely.
It's Africa. That's why no one's talking about it, and they should be. You can't read about it in mainstream media. It's sad. So thank you for bringing.
Well, because the Jews aren't involved.
So let's put all this into perspective. First of all, the United States of America does not fund the genocide of Christians in Nigeria. We do not give all this foreign aid and military support to Nigeria. There's no giant Nigerian political action committee that runs our Congress. Okay. So let's stop comparing the two. But since you want to, 100,000 dead in 20 years in Nigeria, 100,000 dead in 2 years in Palestine. Let's see which one's worse. And which one is the American taxpayer being forced to fund? And which one has its foreign interest lobbying all sides of Congress to continue to support? And let's be perfectly clear. Bill Maher, who's an atheist, but identifies as a Jew when it's convenient for him. So he's not really religious. He's an atheist. He makes fun of religion. He did a whole documentary called Religious, but, he still gets to run as the privileged Jew. The only reason why you want us to talk about Nigeria is because we keep talking about Palestine. That is the only reason. You guys don't give a damn about the Christians being slaughtered in Nigeria. You never have, you never will. Why don't you send the IDF into Nigeria? That's funny. I don't hear anybody saying to send the IDF in. I don't hear anybody talking about military intervention in Nigeria. It's all fake. The only reason they want you to talk about Nigeria is so you stop talking about Palestine. That is it. You think we're going to fall for these tricks? All right. Carrie Jean Bowler proves it. Again, it's just like the same thing. You see this over and over. Hey, the Zionists are controlling all of this stuff. No, they're not. Oh, okay. So then, how is it that everyone that calls out Zionists loses their job, is not allowed in D.C., is not allowed in politics? They lose their bank account. They get censored. They get attacked. You can already see it in the show chat. They pay people to go into my chats now. They've got these haters that they send into my chat to insult me and try to drag people away from my show. It's every day in the chat now, too. Please, you don't think we know what's going on? Give me a break. Give me a break. We know you guys are in here. Welcome to the show. Enjoy. Glad you're here. So here comes Carrie Prejean Bowler, and she says, here's the Catholic doctrine on this, and we believe that the current nation state of Israel is different than the Israel of the Bible, and we do not believe that the American people are meant to serve Zionist interests. And you'll see that the Zionist interests actually run D.C. No, they don't, but you're gone because you don't support the Zionist interest. Oh, thank you. You just proved it. So I'm glad it happened. I'm glad that they proved Carrie Prejean Bowler correct. I'm glad. She said the Zionists control D.C. They said, no, they don't. So the Zionists removed her from D.C. Doesn't get much more obvious than that. Netanyahu gave Fox News an exclusive interview as if we didn't know this was the case.
You will go immediately into a meeting with your security cabinet. Will Israel take control of all of Gaza?
We intend to, in order to assure our security, remove Hamas there, enable the population to be free of Gaza, and to pass it to civilian governance. That is not Hamas and not anyone advocating the destruction of Israel. That's what we want to do. We want to liberate ourselves and liberate the people of Gaza from the awful terror of Hamas.
So they killed 100,000 people. They destroyed the entire country. And I guess they lied when they said Israel wouldn't be taking it over, but the Palestinians would be. So I guess that was a lie, too. I guess that was another lie. All right, guys. This is our last subject of the show. And then we're going to go to the super chats. Now, when this whole Savannah Guthrie thing started, I played it a little conservatively. I suggested that the whole thing could be a distraction and maybe fake, but we don't want to dive into that because if it's real, then that's really not a good place to be. There's real victims. And, so It definitely served as a distraction from the Epstein files. 100% that's true, but it could still be a real thing that's happening. But it's, right to be skeptical. Well, here's one of the things I didn't say at the time, and I'm going to say it now because it was so bad last night that now it has to be said. When the Guthrie story first broke, and I've told you guys about the digital influence campaigns, I just want you guys to understand how everything works. When the Guthrie story first broke, these digital influence campaign groups sent out the notification to cover the story. And so if you're wondering why, when that story broke and you saw all these huge social media accounts all posting the same stuff, the same videos, blowing the story up, that was a digital influence campaign. Okay? Now, I have no problem with people making money on social media. All right? I have no problem. I get offered the same deals. I turn them down. I get invited into the same groups, into the same digital influence campaign groups. I mean, I've got a big account, so I get invited into the same groups. I get the same offers. The offers all come down my way too. The Savannah Guthrie story was one that they got paid to push. And that was one of the major reasons why, when it first happened, I was extremely suspicious. So it's like the distraction angle of, oh, this is happening right as the Epstein files come out. Not to mention Guthrie got an exclusive interview with all the victims. So there's all kinds of weird stuff. And then the Guthrie family ties into the files. And so there's a bunch of weirdness. But it's like, yeah, this story could be real and real victims. And so we don't want to just make claims like this is a Smollett situation, but we're monitoring the situation and we're suspicious. And there's no doubt there's a reason why the mainstream media would cover it end to end and not even mention the Epstein files. And they sent it out, folks. The reason why you saw all these huge social media accounts making a big deal out of the Guthrie story, because normally, why would they do it? You see this stuff. Why are they covering this? What's the big deal here? It was a digital influence campaign. Now, the same thing happened last night. So last night, they claimed they got the guy. And folks, this is so embarrassing. In fact, I almost feel bad because, again, I don't blame people for making money on social media. I don't blame people for, doing ads, let's say. I mean, I have sponsors. My show has sponsors. It's normal. But last night, the same people that were paid to do the digital influence campaign in the beginning of the Guthrie story, again, last night, they were part of the digital influence campaign to push the Guthrie story. And they were all pushing it last night, and they were all saying, look at how great a job Kash Patel did. Look, they got the guy. Great work, FBI. And they were all pushing it. Same exact networks, same exact digital influence campaign. Turns out, it looks like they got the wrong guy. Now, I'm already running long, and we're about to go into bonus time here anyway. So I'm not going to play the clips of the mom from last night. I'm not going to show you all the different accounts that did it. Anybody can see it, and I'm not against these people. Again, I'm not against people making money. I'm just telling you how these things work so you can understand it. So all last night, they got tricked to be a part of propaganda. That's what it is. And they celebrated how great Patel was. Oh, they got the guy. Great work, Patel, everything else. And they shared all the videos. And then, of course, the family of the guy they arrested came out and they let him into the house. They let him into the car. They let him into their phones. They literally were like, oh, take everything you want, take everything you need. And they found nothing. And there was nothing there. And it looks pretty much clear now that they got the wrong guy. So this is the guy that they arrested, that everybody was celebrating, Kash Patel, for getting the right guy. He's already released, and this is what he said.
I mean, I hope they get the suspect. So I'm not it. They better do their job and find the suspect that did it so they can clear my name. And I'm done. Look at what I'm putting my family through.
You're on national news now.
Not just them. Even my parents in Tucson.
Right.
Yeah.
And your mother?
I mean, I hope.
So they basically just tormented an entire innocent family. And the reason why I'm calling out the digital influence campaign behind this today is because this was pure propaganda, and they got the wrong guy. And now this is an embarrassing moment for the FBI. This is an embarrassing moment for Kash Patel. And I will be watching. All of the people that pushed this slop, all the digital media campaigners that pushed this propaganda and celebrated Kash Patel's massive victory in finding the guy, let's see how many are going to call it out as a total failure. Let's see how many people are going to call out the FBI for raiding a house illegally, arresting the wrong guy, and violating an entire family's rights. Because that's what happened. That's what happened. Pretty embarrassing all around, isn't it?
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
All right. Who out there is concerned about what in the hell is going on in the precious metal markets? Who out there is thinking about it? Probably just about everyone now. And if you're not, you're just not paying attention. Now, my friends at Allegiance Gold, they want to make sure before you make any decisions that you are fully educated and well understood about what goes on in the precious metal markets, what your concerns might be, and how you can do the best possible thing for your wealth, your savings, your 401k, your retirement by getting into precious metals. They want to talk to you before you make a decision. All you got to do is call them at 844-790-9191. That's 844-790-9191. And they understand. When you're talking about your 401k, your IRA, your savings, it's your money, it's your future, it's your retirement. You want to be confident, but it's tough. It's tough to ask the right questions and maybe even sound like, I don't know too much about it. That's all okay. One simple phone call, and our friends at Allegiance Gold will answer all of your questions, every single one. And they will make sure you're fully educated and fully understand the decisions that you're going to make just with a phone call. Now, right as we speak, they are offering $5,000 in free gold and silver with qualified investments, whether that is your 401k, IRA, or savings. $5,000 in free gold and silver with qualified investments. Now, as you know, as you've been watching, that $5,000 is the weight is decreasing. As time goes on, it looks like the weight of $5,000 in precious metals is getting less and less. So might be a good idea to consider a move sooner than later. So as I said, ask any question you want. Make sure you're confident in your decision. 844-790-9191. Or if you just want to hop onto the website, protectwithowen.com. That's protectwithowen.com. And you can see on the screen, all you got to do, just give them your name and email, phone number. They'll reach out to you and see if you can qualify for $5,000 in free gold and silver. With the crazy markets out there, the dollar crashing, housing equity crashing, stock market, who knows? You want to get into something that can protect your wealth and your freedom. That's what our friends at Allegiance Gold are for. There's a reason why they have an A+ review with the Better Business Bureau. You heard that right. A+ from the Better Business Bureau from their over 7,000 clients nationwide. Become a client with our friends at Allegiance Gold today. Give them a call, 844-790-9191. Or perhaps it might be easier for you to just hop on the website, protectwithowen.com. You're thinking about it. You're curious about it. Maybe you're ready to make a move. Protectwithowen.com. Our friends at Allegiance Gold want to help you protect your wealth and your freedom because no one else will. All right, that's our bonus music. That means we're going into bonus time.
It's the fastest 3 hours on the internet. It's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
Yeah, that's our, when we're going into bonus time on the show, that's our bonus time music. If you know, you know. So we are officially in bonus time now for the show. We gotta add some bonus time for the super chat today. As we do at the end of every show, we go into your super chats. We got quite a bit on the board today, too. So let's get after it, shall we? Hey, guys, don't forget. Tomorrow, we have Marjorie Taylor Greene on the show. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock Central, Marjorie Taylor Greene on the show for the second hour. Looking forward to catching up with her. And since we pushed off some of the more some more Epstein files, some of the raw files from today, we'll also be covering that tomorrow. All right. Das Vault, the Epstein role reversal is 1984 for me. Well, they ran on Epstein because they wanted to win the election, but now that they actually have to do the Epstein thing, they obviously don't want to. But, really, it's sad because in Europe, they really are. Everybody in the Epstein files in Europe, from royalty to diplomats, they're all dropping like flies. They're all getting fired. They're all losing their royal status. They're all resigning from office. None of that's happening here. Here they're saying, oh, we're with Lutnick. We protect Lutnick. It's a joke. You should look into DARPA N3 released with COVID. Did you guys see the whole, what's his name? Trevor Moore said that COVID was Epstein's kill switch, and there's a lot of evidence that supports that. That's crazy out there. Gideon Judges. They want you to believe Trump was an FBI informant in a Democrat hoax. I love that one. Isn't it true? Oh, the Epstein files are a hoax, except this one that exonerates Trump. That one's real. Hilarious. Do you know why Massey voted no on the SAVE Act? Did they finally vote on that today? If they voted on it, it was while I was on air, so I'd have to look into that. Actually, I did see a headline. I was going to wait until after the vote today. I did see a headline of Massey explaining his vote on the SAVE Act, but I thought he said he was going to vote in support of it. Here, I'll just look it up right now. So it looks like the House passed it. It looks like the House passed it. Massey said he didn't vote against the Save America Act, but against one of the rules. He posted this. There's a false rumor that I voted against the Save America Act today. I'll vote for it when it comes to the floor. I voted against a rule that allows it to get a vote, but the rule also suspends the House rules and allows spending bills to come to the floor with no 24-hour notice. So, okay, so he did vote for he voted for it, but he's saying, folks, Massey's the most honest guy in Congress. It's really amazing. It's really pathetic that Trump attacks him. So he's just letting you know that this is how they operate. This is the same reason why Bondi attacked him today on the Deepfake Act, because it's like, hey, look, we're doing this with deepfakes, and then they put 20 lines of corruption under it. So it's like the top line is deepfakes and then 20 lines of corruption under it. And Massey says, okay, I'll vote against the deepfakes, just remove the 20 lines of corruption. And then he votes no because they don't remove it. And then they say he didn't vote for this. It's one of the dirtiest tricks in politics. So they're doing the same thing. So they did the same thing with the SAVE Act. And they're saying, hey, part of the SAVE Act is we're going to get rid of the 24-hour rule. We're going to put a bill on your desk, and you're not even going to have time to read it. So I think that that's the answer to the question you're asking. Owen Schroyer's wifey. You know it's bad if I'm agreeing with Crockett. Oh, I know, right? It was, oh my gosh. I didn't even play the Crockett clips today. I mean, chalk it up to the list. Pam Bondi got owned by Nadler, Crockett, Johnson, Jayapal. Who else am I forgetting? I mean, it's Swalwell. Pam Bondi got owned by the scummiest of the scum Democrats today, and there's no denying it. Only a cult member can't see it. The Mega Man 95. Netanyahu joins Board of Peace. In other news, Ben Shapiro wins Goyim of the Year, and Randy Fine elected president of Maha. Yeah, that's a good one. Dems love PDFs. At least they're consistent. Scotty Gesso, look at Pam's face and all the men asking questions. Transhumanist, I'm sorry for being right. Truth hurts. Can we get a wellness check on Larry Loomer? Oh, boy. Rubber room. CL143. Let it rip. So sick of the media fueling dumb people down stories. Glad we have streamers like you among the few other real ones. I'm not like, look, it's like this. I am not happy at the fact I am now one of the last men standing in media as far as truth tellers are concerned. I am not happy about that. Now, part of me could say, from a business aspect, this is good for me. From a business aspect, watching everybody else in the media bow out and cower and take the knee and cuck out and sell out and everything else, I'd say, well, this is going to be good for me. Everybody else is selling out. I'll be one of the last men standing. But I'm not in this for business. I'm not in this to get rich. I have a small studio in my small house in Austin. All right. I'm not making a bunch of money doing this. I make enough money to live, and that's all I really care about. So it's not, I'm not doing this as a business decision. I am depressed when I watch what's happened to MAGA. I am depressed when I watch what's happened to the truth community, the independent press, when I'm watching them sell out and bow out and take the knee and cower out. That depresses me. That depresses me. Because it was like for a while there, I mean, folks, you got to understand, and the people that have been following my work, you guys know, when I was at InfoWars, it was like InfoWars, we were hitting the front lines. We were hitting the barbed wire first on everything. It was like every single time we had to climb the barbed wire, and then basically just our bodies would get stuck in the barbed wire and bleed out, and then everyone else would climb over us to get to the other side. And that was the role we played at InfoWars for like 8 years. It was like, okay, here we go. InfoWars has to hit the front lines. InfoWars has to climb the barbed wire, and then we climb it, and our bodies get mangled and stuck, and then everybody else can safely climb over us and our bodies to get to the other side. So then it was like, hey, other people were climbing the barbed wire. Hey, other people were hitting the front lines. Hey, it didn't have to be us every single time again. It was nice. It was a relief. It was like, oh, this is a breath of fresh air. We can operate a little bit differently. And now it just feels like for me, I mean, I'm obviously not InfoWars anymore. It feels like the same thing for me. It's just like now it's back to the barbed wire. Now there's only so many people that are willing to hit the barbed wire. But that's just the right selling out. That's just the right cucking out. And unfortunately, it's nothing new. Unfortunately, it's just, it's right back to 2015 and 2016, really. So it's not like it's a new territory. No real man in USA. Tate's 4242. Don't worry, buddy. Right here for you. Real CK Chatelet. Invade Canada, not Iran. Well, I could say something about Canada's desperate, guys. Canada is really desperate. They're cracking down on speech up there, and then they had a horrific shooting event with another trans shooter. It's bad. Where is Trump Jr. to prevent DJT self-immolation? Well, look, I don't know if you guys saw the video from James O'Keefe yesterday. Catching the guy that kicked him out of his own company in an undercover video. But he made the assertion that Don Jr. is making a bunch of money off of crypto and other such things in this administration. And I mean, I think it's true. And so I think Don Jr. is, he's staying silent and playing his role. So I'm not going to go after Don Jr. I like Don Jr. and I hate what the right does, where it's like there's a time to throw people overboard. There's a time to, destroy people. Like it's time for Pam Bondi to just be completely crushed. But it's like when we do that with everybody, we kind of end up destroying the cause long term. So I'm not ready. I don't want to go after Don Jr. I still think he's one of us, and I'd like to have him on our side. So I think he's just remaining strategically silent, I'd say. If Trump wants to win midterms, he would release frazzle drip video. Well, or arrest Netanyahu. Owen's dentist. That's funny. Have I had a dentist before? I think this is a new one to the community. Bondi's facial injections have entered her brain. Well, I think she might be suffering from a little Botox brain. Rumple Gold. Owen, what do you think is going on with Pam Bondi? I'm infuriated right now. That pissed me off so bad. She sucks. I mean, what do you mean? What's going on? She sucks. She's a sellout. And I think she belongs in prison because of this now. But hey, make your own decisions out there. Pam Bondi made the decision. She wants to be part of covering up the Epstein network. And again, this whole thing of transparency, guys, don't fall for it. They ran on the Epstein files, and now they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. Okay? They had to give us something, and Thomas Massie was able to pass the law. In fact, you guys want to hear a crazy story? This is a crazy one. And actually, I did share a video from this guy before. A friend of mine here in Austin. This is crazy. This is just crazy. Okay. I got a friend of mine here in Austin. He's big into the fitness community, has a business in the fitness community. Every once in a while, we'll live together, talk, whatever. Follows the show, follows politics. And he also went to high school with Candace Owens. He was in the same graduating class as Candace Owens. And I think we're all exactly the same age. I think we all graduated the same year. So that's just another weirdness. So friend of mine in Austin, high school with Candace. And he calls me the other day, and he's talking about, I'm sorry to do this. I don't think I'm scooping anybody, but I'll be smart here. A major production studio is about to do a documentary essentially on Candace Owens. And, he's not really sure, is it good? Is it bad? Whatever. And so he's kind of asking me, he's like, hey, what do you think? Like, they want my comments, whatever. I'm afraid it might be a hit piece. I don't really want to do a hit piece, but, I'll talk about high school with her, whatever. And I just kind of gave, basic advice I would give anybody. I was like, well, just record everything and just, don't say anything you don't want them to air, and do what you want. So that's kind of a side story. So get ready. I don't know if it's going to be a hit piece on Candace or a positive thing or whatever, but there's a major, major film studio about to do a Candace Owens deal. But that's not even what I'm talking about. So the only reason, so this whole, the Trump administration is so transparent. Well, they're misrepresenting why Epstein wound up back in jail in 2019. So that's just a lie. And they're not being transparent with the Epstein files. Now, again, I don't really go after Trump too much on this. Trump did cooperate with the feds to expose Epstein, and that is true. And I don't think Trump was even doing anything illegal. But Trump was obviously partying with Epstein for at least 10 years, maybe more, and they were definitely friends. But I don't think he did anything illegal, and ultimately he ended up working with the feds to bring Epstein in. But Bondi's the one that's butchering this. Trump ran on the Epstein files. Now, for whatever reason, he's disinterested in bringing us the true story here. Whatever. So back to my friend. So this is where the crazy story comes in. So back to my friend. My friend, and I've shared a video of his before on X, but I don't know. He doesn't like to really He's not trying to be on the radar, so I won't say his name. But he started a political action committee years ago. I think it was called like Young Americans for Freedom or something like that. Starts this political committee. They're able to raise a couple $1 million, and it's all about getting anti-establishment Republicans elected. And the big inspiration was Ron Paul. And the biggest benefactor, one of the candidates that they got behind, which was one of the biggest benefactors and one of their biggest pushes for this PAC, was Thomas Massie. So we're talking the other day, and he's like, Owen, this is the craziest world. It was my political action committee that funded Massey's campaign to originally get him elected, and now he's out here and he got us the Epstein files. So anyway, just a crazy world. Just a crazy world. It's a friend of mine. And they're like, hey, they just interviewed me for this Candace Owens documentary. Hey, by the way, my political action committee got Massey elected, and now he just got us the Epstein files. I'm like, what a crazy world. Great guy, by the way. Really good guy. The original, thanks for the super chat. Cornelius Westernmost. Guys, I got to start pile driving here. I know MLB hates us, but lifelong fan of the Redbirds and knowing your sports background and being a native of the Lou, I would love to hear your take on the Blooms rebuild of the Cardinals. You know what? The Cardinals organization has effed it up so bad. It's kind of like the Trump administration, isn't it? It's kind of like Bondi in the Trump administration. I'm so disgusted at what this organization has done. When they fired Mike Schilt a couple years ago, and look, Schilt made a horrible decision in that playoff game. He blew that playoff game badly. But he was clearly the right guy. He clearly turned that team around, and then they fired him. That was the first big mistake in the recent years. The fact that they're not begging Albert Pujols to come manage this team right now is a joke. The organization should be begging on bended knee for Albert Pujols to be managing this team. And the fact that they're not tells me that this organization is a complete joke. And the truth is, Major League Baseball managers are virtually worthless now. They've changed all the rules, and so strategy doesn't even matter anymore. Everybody hits for home runs. Nobody hits for average. The pitchers don't hit anymore, so it's always a designated hitter. They got all these other weird rules, so there's no strategy anymore. The manager's pretty much been nullified. So they should be begging and pleading and willing to pay Albert anything to go manage the team. Anything. I think Yachty might have gotten some special position. But the Cardinals rely on the fact that all of their fans will go to the games and pay the money no matter how much they reinvest in the team or try to win or don't. So I don't know the exact details of what you're talking about. The Cardinals management and ownership, they don't care about their fans. They don't care about their fans. They don't care if they want to win or lose. All they care about is money and the fact that the Cardinals fans will show up and pay money no matter what. But I have a feeling that's going to change soon. So maybe they'll be forced to actually invest in the team. And look, we can sit here and complain about the Dodgers buying up every single player on the market, and that's fair. And MLB is just kind of a joke now because of it. But it's like, you know what? Give the Dodgers credit. They want to win, and they play to win, and they spend the money to win. So, hey, good for you if you're a Dodgers fan. Congratulations. Your ownership cares about winning. I wish the Cardinals did as well. So, if you live and die with the Cardinals, expect a lot of death. But I wouldn't live and die with that team anymore. I wouldn't. Owens Dentist, RFK's in the files too. Is it the entire administration? I didn't really see too much about RFK. It's like everybody's in the file. It doesn't mean any guilt. But I will say this. RFK's wife was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and she was going off on the Epstein files. She was going off. I mean, all of the deepest, darkest stuff. So I don't see any cover up happening from that side. Mary McLeavin. Richard Nixon is owed a huge apology. You ain't a kidding. You ain't a kidding about that. I'll tell you what. I got a little Nixon for you. I got a little Nixon, actually. Would you guys like a little Nixon? Let me see if I can find it. I've got a Nixon here in the leftovers that it's just been in my leftovers. Let me see if I can find this. I got so many damn leftovers here. Since you bring up Nixon, here it is. I found it. Since you bring up Nixon, here's a little Nixon from the stack of leftovers for you today.
Let me explain something about what is called the Jewish lobby in this country. Their belief is that being for Israel first, that does not mean you're putting America second. An American president, however, has to approach it in a different way, in my opinion. He's got always to think first of what is best for America. An American president must make a decision that does not, in effect, give the Israelis a blank check. And one example of that is a decision that I made. I decided early on in our administration that we were going to seek good relations with Egypt and others of Israel's neighbors. Many of my Israeli friends didn't like that because they wanted a special relationship with Israel and Israel only. Let me explain.
So there you go. And I think it's pretty obvious, Nixon basically got a call and said, here's the deal, bud. You're either going to leave office or you're going to leave office. You can either leave office and live the rest of your life, or you can leave office the same way that JFK Jr. left office. So there you go. A little pull from the leftovers today. Why are we being ruled by geriatric boomers? Well, isn't that part of the problem? This is why I rant on the generational stuff. I have nothing against, boomers or older generations. I like it. I respect my elders, and I think they're good people. Generally speaking, I don't think they're bad people. But they're leaving us with a mess, and it's time for the younger generations to take over. The problem is now, because of this, it looks like it's going to be the young left that comes of age first. And oh boy, that could be bad. Nephilim Death Squad, do you believe in love at first sight? Well, I don't know. Tune back in tomorrow. There's an Olsen sister on the right. Oh, is that a Pam Bondi joke? It took me a second. I think that's a Pam Bondi joke. Tucker is him. We like Tucker. Alex McCarthy. Owen began Own the Libs Man on the Street content in 2015 debating Antifa while waiting in line at a Trump rally in St. Louis. The meme, "You're an effing white male," was an insult directed at Owen and went viral. Well, that's right, old friend. And then it was Alex and I took the trip to Cleveland in 2016. And we did the exact same content at the RNC that year, too. We had some fun. Didn't we, Alex? I think you guys are eventually going to hear from Alex. I think you will eventually. How many hand signs can she do? Are we talking about Bondi here, Scotty? I don't know, but she knows how to flip the hair. Trump can blame the Dems if they win. MAGA would buy it. Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah. Trump 100% relies on the MAGA retards now, the MAGA cult now. Oh, don't go. No. Carl Hamilton, I won't have it. I won't have any Emily hate on this show. There will be no Emily hate on this show. Emily is a friend, and we like her. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. You can't hurt our cause with this whole throw everybody overboard that you don't agree on with everything. I don't like it. We have to bring them in. We have to endear them. We have to link arms with them. And I guarantee you, she's a lot better than most of whatever else you get on the right. Why do you do the pyramid hand sign every 5 minutes? Oh, you're talking to me? I'm doing the pyramid hand sign? I don't even know. Owen Schroyer's wife's boyfriend. Why did you make us sit through your date? It's all right. It's decent. There's a little humor. It could be better. Methylene Blue. Which NES track is this? Nice interview. Yes, we play a lot of old video game music. I think today we hit. I'll go ahead and say I always like to keep it kind of a mystery. No, today we played some Ken Griffey Jr. Winning Run. We played some NBA Jam, and we played some Donkey Kong today. Yes, it's old video game music because every other music I play, I get hit with a ding, and so I'm just tired of it. It bothers me. I want to play real music on the show. I want to share my music taste with you because I have the best music taste in the media, but they just ding me every time I play something, so I just do the video game music. The one that say they are Jews and are not are liars in the synagogue of Satan. Oh, and take the red pill and you'll see things clearly. Believe Jesus' word. Hey, careful. Careful with talk like that. They'll take you off of your religious liberty panel. Read Romans 28:29, Revelations 3:9. Take the red pill, Owen. Your heart is in the right place, Owen. Thank you. Corn Pop. You were asking how bad things are getting. I'm looking forward to SNL skits about Bondi. That's how bad it is, and I hate SNL. Oh, I'm sure they're going to get her on this. I know South Park did a Bondi episode. I have not kept up with the new South Park season. I do know that they did a Bondi episode, though, so I feel like maybe now I need to go catch up with that. It's all, if only we had the time. Tay from Florida, currently at the Fishback Rally in St. Pete, Florida. Now, have fun. Good people. Fishback 2028. How about that? Molly Pearson, notice Bongino isn't covering this hearing. No, I didn't, because I don't watch Bongino anymore, like most freedom-loving Americans now. EW, what's the better sound, chain or net for basketball hoop? I'm going to go with net. But the chain is very underrated. The chain is very underrated and very underappreciated. But I still got to go with the swish of the net. I have to. But the chain net, the old street ball with the chain net, that's truly elite ball. If you know that, you know ball. I am tired of winning. Robert 292, Nadler, American Patriot. Yeah, we're in Clown World. Oh, my God. Do I have a clown horn on here?
Ooh, wow. Gay.
I don't think I do. I probably should put a clown horn on here.
Look at that big ass. Look at that big juicy booty.
All right. Okay. I probably should put a clown horn on there. Yeah, that's Clown World. When the Democrats are owning Pam Bondi, we are in Clown World. Yeah, Blackout Coffee is a great sponsor. They can sponsor whoever they want. If they want to sponsor Bongino, good for them. Maybe we need an Owen coffee blend. Don't know. The sponsors are friends. Buy your Blackout Coffee. Be a good listener if you drink coffee. I see you have a male ring finger. Does my heart good to see that? There is hope. We're off the chain today, guys. They need to bring back dueling. Well, it's still legal in some states. Thank you, Peppermint. Are those shekels? If you don't kiss Trump's arse, you have TDS or you are anti-Jewish. Well, right. Clearly a blackmail op to go to war. Imagine what's going on at the higher tier parties. Is Alex Jones on this? Much love from Europe. Thank you from America to Europe, where you guys are actually dealing with the Epstein pedophiles. I don't know if Alex is covering it or not. I don't watch that show, so I don't have an answer to that. Trump was the pressure release valve, and he is cashing out in any scam he can. On his way out, he destroyed the populist movement. You know, it does make me wonder if they don't know if there's going to be some major crash, and now Trump knows, and that's why he sold us out, and he's just trying to get him and his family as rich and protected as possible before it all happens. I can't, it's so bad. I'm just trying to make sense of it. It's so bad. I'm trying to make sense of it like everybody else. And maybe it's like some form of denial too. It's like, how could it be this bad? How could Trump be this bad? How could the administration be this bad? It's unbelievable. Remember when all the libs said Trump was a con man? Well, it looks like, they're cashing in now. They're owning Bondi now. Defending PDF's not a popular political strategy, but what do I know? I'm just a cat. Yeah, well, I guess the Trump administration is going to have to find that one out the hard way, huh? Wait until they find Q stands for Qatar. Oh, don't give them any ideas. Don't give them any ideas. Welcome to Electric Boogaloo. There are more of us than them, and we have the smoke. Everyone needs to be online spreading the word while we have a chance to win by rattling. I like that. Is this from Japan? Tom NG? What's up, Japan? I think this is our first Japanese super chat. You guys got some pretty good figure skaters. Japanese figure skaters have come out to compete this Olympics. Epstein files are having massive repercussions in the UK. This is not just a US-based scandal. Its tentacles reach far and wide. Yeah, but in the UK, they're actually dealing with the people, and here they're protecting them. Pam just Allah Akbar the Republican Party. You got me with that one. Jordan Walker. Jordan's Bentley's test. We got you loud and clear. Although I will say this, I don't know what was going on with the super chats the other day. My live streams are not showing up on X. I don't know what I can't even explain it. I can't find my live streams on X, but somehow Emily was able to embed and share my live stream on X, so I had to reshare hers. I don't know. We deal with all. I'm telling you guys, I'm not even sure. It's like there's definitely people that try to sabotage Owen Schroyer, right? Okay. There's obviously people that try to censor and sabotage Owen Schroyer. But there's tech demons. I got tech demons, guys. These tech demons follow me anywhere and everywhere. So I don't know what's going on with the X thing. My team has been looking into it. It makes no sense. Okay? It makes no sense. We can't figure it out. It's kind of like that audio issue we had earlier this week. It's like there was literally no actual explanation for it. Nigeria, perhaps it's because they joined BRICS and will probably separate from ECOWAS. That could have something. It could be a double play on that deal. Excited for the show tomorrow. Post pot roast for supper. Well, it better be good this time. Get rid of all that fat. DZ300, Bondi and Trump on your show. Don't let them deflect. Crash out, poop tell. Stay the F away from my country. Oh, my God. The nicknames here. Spam Blondie. We got some nicknames from Jordan's Bentley today. The GWE 76. Massey and Ro Khanna Populous Ticket 2028. You know what? I was actually thinking about that. Because here's the thing. We could talk about like Massey Green, right? Something like that. Massey is leading the way, as far as somebody who's in politics and scoring political points on the board for a presidential run. Massey is the guy. He's even starting to aura farm a little bit. In case you haven't noticed, he's kind of ditched the whole nerdy Politico look. He's kind of got a Clark Kent look going on now. So he's starting to get the aura and the chemistry to make a presidential run. He's getting the political points. But see, here's the thing about that. And this is, look, I would rather not have a progressive Democrat. I would rather not have a progressive Democrat in the White House, even if it is a vice president. But here's the thing. This is how the system used to work. The system used to work that you elected the president and the runner-up was the vice president. And so that always kept things balanced. And we ditched that system. So the reason why the Massey Khanna ticket is a good idea, even though I don't want a progressive Democrat in the White House, even if it is Ro Khanna, this country is in such dire straits, folks. This country is so corrupt and so bad. We have to find a populist group of people that are willing to say, okay, You've got your left-wing issues, you've got your right-wing issues, and then you got the issues that we agree on. And if we can get 4 years or 8 years of a dual ticket from the left and the right that can say, here's what we agree on, here's what we got to do to save the country, it might be the only way to save it. It might be. It's almost like we have to find a coalition with the left and the right to save this country. Because it's like the left keeps getting crazier and then the right keeps selling us out. It's like we have to find something. We have to find a coalition. Foreign policy, arresting the deep state criminals, arresting the pedophile networks, getting it all out of the country. It might be the only way. I am thinking a lot about that. Dead by John. Me mom died in the Holly. Did you see that Jake TV video? I was thinking about just posting that little like 5-second clip from that Jake TV video with the girl. Matt Coe. Oh, and you have been an absolute trooper since leaving InfoWars. You're always live. Thank you, brother. Glad to have you here. Don from Orange County. Stop saying these satanic wall-kissing PDFs are stupid or incompetent. They're doing exactly what they're told. Watch your Monday shows on Rumble before you left the Goy Wars. The nicknames today. Glad you're breaking out, Owen. We need more truth. Goy supremacy. Trump only coordinated with the feds when he and Epstein were in a property dispute. It was a power play. His hands are as dirty as a pig's snout. I've never heard that one. Maybe we'll look into that. We don't negotiate with PDFs. Damn right. Sam White. I can't believe you don't drink with all going on. Ha! Yeah, that's funny. You're not the only one. I got to be careful because I don't like to. I try to keep the show about the show. But yeah, I told my lawyer that one of my lawyers, because I don't get drug tested anymore. I used to get drug tested all the time. I've never failed a drug test, by the way. So all the people out there that have made these claims, I've probably been drug tested like 40 times in my life. I've been drug tested since high school. I've never failed a single drug test. Now, I'm not going to pretend like I'm some sort of square, but okay, let's just be clear here. I've been drug tested probably 40 or 50 times in my life. I've never failed a single one. Okay, you get it? Got it. But no, I am totally sober. But no, I had a lawyer ask me. He's like, "Oh yeah, you're not getting drug tested anymore. How's that going for you?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm still sober." And he said, "Well, do you drink ever? You drink?" I was like, "No, I don't drink." And they had the same reaction. They're like, doing what you do, and you don't, self-medicate. I prefer the sober lifestyle, but I do get it. I do get it. There are some days and there are some nights where I'm like, oh my God, I could use a stiff drink or I could use a magic stogie. But no, we stay sober. We stay sober here. But yeah, let's just say one of my lawyers, when they heard I was totally sober, was like, especially in media, guys, especially in politics and political media, very few people are truly sober. Some say they are, but I don't know. But no, we really are. Adam Helm. Owen, what ever happened to Steve Pachinik? I don't know. Obviously, I had that viral interview that got like tens of millions of views when he talked about how they were going to set the Democrats up to steal the election with the watermark ballots, and then, nothing came of it, and everybody blamed me for it. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was interviewing the guest. I didn't know what he was going to say. But haven't heard from him. I heard from him a couple times since then, but other than that, never heard from Steve. I don't know. Maybe Alex knows. Whatever happened to the lady that grabbed your junk from LA Patriot? It is the only charge that has ever stuck. I have been assaulted how many times? Countless times. I mean, countless times I've been assaulted in front of police, on camera, everything. And that is the only charge that ever stuck. I won in court. I forget the charge that stuck. And we actually went for a lesser charge because we could have gone for a higher charge. and I guess I'm just too nice of a guy, because if we would have gotten a higher charge, I mean, her life would have been bad for her. It would have been life ruining. So we went with a lesser charge, and it was more of a temporary life ruining thing, but there's a future on the other side of it. I would imagine she's probably about done with that probation. And I don't know. She might be on the sex register she might be on the sex offender registry for a while. But I don't know. I haven't looked into that. Block Gino playing Jeremy Boring videos. Yeah, well, Block Gino is now all in with Levin and Shapiro, and I guess Daily Wire now is the thing. So I guess that nobody's surprised by the new Block Gino. QWERTY, final of the day. It looks like Trump made a deal with the technocrats to get impeached and have Vance take over and explain Trump's indifference to the midterms. An interesting theory. That's an interesting theory. I don't think I've heard that one. I've heard the theories about Vance and the technocrats for 2028. And there's no doubt the connections are there. I'm not all sold out on Vance. At least he says a lot of the right things. He seems to be more connected to the base. I just don't think anybody from this administration is going to be electable. I just don't think. I think it's going to be so toxic, it's going to be unelectable. So I don't know. Guys, give us a follow on YouTube if you haven't. Doing pretty good over there. Looking to build over there. Let me check something before we sign off here. Let me see. No new shirt. No new shirt. No new shirt yet at owenschroyer.store. That is incompetent as Pam Bondi. All right, we're going to have to fix that. All right, guys, that does it. It's only a 20-hour break today. Because we did almost 4 hours today. God bless. Godspeed. We'll see you tomorrow.